can all see me this week. Yes, thumbs up from anyone who can see me. Yes, right, fantastic. You can all see me. That's all good start. Right, welcome along to tonight's live stream tonight. As I'm sure you've seen by the many posts we put out on Facebook and Twitter and Twitter and all that sort of thing, that tonight we're talking all about motorbike camping, motorbike touring. Now, before we start, if anyone is watching and they've got any questions or queries or things they want to discuss in general, please feel free to pop it in the live comment section. I will do my best to keep on top of them. We had hundreds last week, so that was mental, and I apologise if you didn't get any read out, but we will do our very best. So tonight we originally were going to have 4 guests. Originally we're going to have 5 guests. Unfortunately, the fourth one, Bill, he's not actually available tonight. He's had to take a horse to the hospital. Don't ask. But we have got a better looking replacement, Steve's better half, Kay. Now I'm going to bring them in first of all. We have Carts Wheels, Mr. and Mrs. There they are. There you go. That's all right. Hello. How are you?
Hello, mate. How are you?
Very well. Very well. Thank you very much for coming. Yes, and as you can see, ladies and gents, Kay is far better looking than Bill. No offence to Bill there. Right. and you as well. I'm not going to lie. Right. Next of all. So that's Steve and Kay from Cartswells. Then we've got Dave. I'm going to bring you in now. Where are you, sir? There you go. How are you, Dave?
You're up, buddy.
Hey, very well. Dave is Motovlog UK. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been brilliant to have you on. I've been looking at your channel for a while, and it's all crap. No, I'm joking. It's fantastic. It's really good to have you on board, and that's brilliant. Last but by no means least, we have Jay with us today. Where is he? There he is, Mr. Crazy Legs on a bike. How you doing? You right?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Thank you. How are you?
Very well. I see you've copied my hairstyle this week as well. So that's
I've got no choice.
Oh, we've all done it. Look at that. It's the Bold Boys.
We didn't get the memo.
Yeah, I know. I've got some clippers for you, Steve. That's no problem.
No problem.
Right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. As you probably just heard, tonight we're talking about moto camping, moto touring, which I'm hoping you've all done before. Now I know you've all done bits and bobs before, whether it be local or long distance or whatever it be. Let's go around you one at a time. For anyone that hasn't spoken to you guys before or seen you before, as we've just brought you all in one by one, Steve and Kay, you can go first. Who are you? What do you ride? Where do you come from? And tell us a bit about your channel.
So we run a small YouTube channel called Carts Wheels. We run it together, and I ride Kay.
Right, okay. Start as you mean to go on, Steve. Fantastic. That's great. Well done, mate.
I ride a Honda Africa Twin.
And I ride a Honda Rebel 500.
Fantastic. So both Hondas. Lovely. Nothing wrong with size, mate. Listen,
Well, no, yeah.
You've got a bigger bike making
Talk about me, not the bike.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Dave, tell us a bit about yourself and your channel. Go for it, my friend.
I'm Dave. I am formerly the Thorpster. Some people may know me from there, where I split out my motorbike stuff onto a new channel called Motovlog UK, so it's still growing at the moment. And I currently ride a Honda VFR 800F.
Okay. Currently, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I frequently go camping, especially tour with my son on the back of it. So.
Fantastic. Yes, I do that as well. Actually, that's brilliant. We're going to bring that into it at some point tonight with the kids and the family and get them involved as well. Go on. You said currently. I've got to ask. What is there another bike on the horizon? Is that something you're going to tell us, or?
It's not. I'm not going to go into it, but there is another bike on the horizon.
Okay. Well, we look forward to finding out what it's going to be. Jay, yes, over to you, sir. Tell us a bit about yourself, your channel, and what you ride.
Yeah, so my name's Jay. I run a channel called Crazy Legs on a Bike. I actually currently ride a GS 1200 Adventure. And I say currently because these guys know me that I might have something different next week.
Oh, blimey. Everyone's getting different bikes. What's going on?
I'm not.
You know? No,
we're going to have a whip round for Steve.
Excuse me.
You've just got a bike. My turn next.
Right, brilliant. Guys, thanks very much for that. And if anyone's watching and they aren't already, I'm sure they're going to anyway by the end of this video. But if you could check out all their tags there for you, check out their YouTube channels. And of course, by liking, subscribing, commenting, it helps us all to keep what we're doing and keep the content fresh and ready. So let's get into it first of all, straight away. So what tours and trips have we been on? Is there anything that stands out? Dave, I'm going to come to you first of all. What's your most favourite tour that you've done? Tour or trip, I should say.
Well, my most favourite camping trip was Aberystwyth with my son. That's the first time we ever went. Either of us went motorbike camping.
Oh,
that was the most memorable one for me and Max. He was only a young lad at the time. But I would say the most fun I've ever had was probably Elan Valley last year with this motley crew. Was it? No, was it Lake Vyrnwy, Jay?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was Lake Vyrnwy. We had a Lake Vyrnwy trip with the Motor Revers. So a shameless plug there for Craig and the guys.
No, go for it.
And we had such a good weekend. It was untrue. I was actually hurting for the week after it. It was like I'd built a house. All my muscles were aching from laughing and being beaten up by Kay and people. It was great. Really enjoyed it.
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? That ultimately these tours, these trips we go on, yes, we're going to see some fantastic places, but especially when you join up with some fantastic people, it's all about the laugh, the atmosphere, the community spirit, getting everyone together and enjoying what we do best, which is obviously biking side of things. So, right, your trip that you went on to Lake Vyrnwy, is that where that photo came from? The one that, let's just bring it up, that one there?
Yes. No, that one was from Elan Valley, which was...
Oh, that was the Elan Valley one.
That. Yeah.
Fantastic. But that's your current bike at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the bike I've got at the minute, yeah.
God, look at that. That's beautiful. So, okay, so Lake Vyrnwy, what was the most memorable part of it? Was there anything in particular? Was it the lake itself? Was it some of the roads? What was the most enjoyable bit?
No, it was Steve Carts actually bought Cards from Humanity, that little card game.
Bloody hell. Right.
I'd never heard of it. And we played that for a couple of hours, and my God, we had such a laugh. We was throwing up.
In his
laughing.
element.
Yeah. You've got to be a certain kind of person to play that game, haven't you? Let's be honest. Jesus Christ.
Was it?
It was.
The thing is that we've had our 9-year-old son playing that game as well.
Oh God.
Oh wow. I don't know if you should admit that because social services may be on the phone in a minute, but that's fine.
I had nothing to do with it. I weren't there.
The thing is, he's there and he's just like, "What does this mean, Dad?"
And then he says, "Can I say this word?" And we're like,
Can I say this word?" No.
But me and it was actually bittersweet, wasn't it, Steve and Jay and Kay, because Queen Elizabeth had died that weekend, hadn't she?
No.
And most of the cards were about Queen Elizabeth, so we was trying to filter those ones out, so we didn't,
God. I'm not going to ask for any examples and everything.
No.
We'll all get kicked off YouTube, I think, if we do that.
Yeah, it was funny.
So Lake Vyrnwy, okay, fantastic. Jake, go on, I'm going to come over to you. What was your most memorable or best tour trip that you've been on?
I would like to say that when I did the Alps, that was the most memorable. But because I was with a load of sports bike riders, it was just too quick. So the most memorable one for me is probably the Scotland trip that I did with Dave and Si and Fasty.
Yeah, Scotland as well. Sorry. Yeah, that one totally went out of my head. Scotland was fantastic. That was the longest and best tour I've ever done.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was pretty
longest
awesome.
and best. That's interesting because usually the longer tours, especially when they get towards the end, they start getting a bit achy. Oh, me bum, me ass, me legs, that sort of thing. But it was, I've been to Scotland. It is phenomenal. It is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I mean, yes, you can go to Europe and all these fantastic places, but having something like that within the UK is just wow. It's amazing, isn't it? Okay, Jay, when you did that trip, was it on this bike which we can see now?
No, this is from one of the either Elan or Lake Vyrnwy, I think, that we did. But when I mentioned earlier that currently I've got a 1200 GS, I change my bikes like I change my socks. So
right, you either got very smelly socks or you change them a lot. So yeah,
I've known Dave for 2 years, and I think in those 2 years he's had 6 bikes.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
6 bikes. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You've had what? 2 Ducatis, 2 BMWs, the Kawasaki, the Bullet.
I had the little Bullet. That was a fun bike, though. The Bullet. That was
it was a fun bike.
Half a bike.
Half a bike. Okay. Yeah. No. Brilliant. So, so when you were in Scotland, where did you have one particular point as a base camp, or did you, kind of do the loop and have different base camps as you went round?
Yeah, we did. So we based ourselves at we was actually in a caravan on that tour. But we still obviously got bagged up and everything on the bikes to go up to the caravan. We used that as a base. It was what was it called again, Dave? I can't remember now. Was it Tummel Bridge? Wasn't it? That was it.
Yeah, Tummel Bridge or something
Yeah.
like that. There was a power station there as well, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Okay.
but so and then we used that as a base, and then we just went out and did our own thing every day. So it was fantastic.
Wow, fantastic! That's brilliant.
And I think it all depends on the company as well. I think if you've got good company, you know, it makes the trip all the time. So
yeah,
100%.
Fasty Rides came with us as well. He's actually in the chat. All right, Fasty.
Yay, Fasty! There he is.
Fasty drove up the day after and joined us up there, which was great. So we had a brilliant time up there doing that again.
Yeah. I think anyone that's been to Scotland, it's immediately back on their to-do list. They want to do it again and again. I don't think you could ever get bored. There's so many things to see. Yes, you've got the North Coast 500, but even off the beaten track, you've got so many other bits and bobs, and the rest of Skye, and then you've got the Outer Hebrides and all that. It's just
I was just going to say that, James. You mentioned the NC 500, and everyone thinks of the NC 500 when they go up to Scotland, but there's so many different routes that you can go on. There's so many different places to explore.
100%.
I think just use the NC 500 as a rough guess and the rough direction in which you want to go. But we all know that the main roads around there, especially on like the eastern side, they're nothing amazing. Obviously, the more smaller little lanes, that's where it's at.
Yeah, I think everyone says that the West Coast is where it's at, and if you're going to do it, you do it anti-clockwise to kind of warm yourself up and get better. But then saying that, when I did the 500, and okay, slight tangent at the moment, when we did the 500, we went up. So we actually went up the West Coast of England, up to the Lake District, across to the Cairngorms, and then up that way, and that was nice to break it up a bit. I mean, yes, you could probably get round the top right-hand corner quite quickly if you wanted to, but yeah, no, that's blimey, we could do a whole bloody video on Scotland. I think it's incredible. No, brilliant. Thank you for that. That's good to know. Steve and Noke, what is?
Yeah.
What about you, James?
Me? Oh, I'll come to me. Don't you worry. I've got hundreds, but there is one that stands out. There's two, but I'll come to it in a second. Go on, Steve. What's yours, matey?
So obviously, our touring is mainly with these guys here. We did a bit of a spontaneous little weekend away last year. That was quite interesting, but it was a lot of riding though. So we sort of combined a couple of rides into one, and then stopped over in Skegness, and then obviously rode back home the next day, combined in another couple of rides. And it was just completely off the cuff, just spur of the moment thing, and that's what I really, really enjoyed. Obviously, Elan, Vernwy, with these guys and the Motor Revs, you can't fault it. It's just a weekend of barrel of laughs, getting pissed, getting absolutely soaking wet as well.
Not while riding, I will say there. You know, obviously drink and drive responsibly.
Oh, well, obviously, you're completely sober in the morning.
Oh, of course you are.
But people tend to sneak in.
Oh, for God's sake.
I do.
I don't remember getting drunk. I think I was on orange juice.
I don't.
Yeah, we'll stick with that. Yeah. And Steve, we've got one of your pictures here, matey. Where was that from, out of interest?
That was Vernwy.
That was Vernwy again. Look at that, fully loaded. And Kay, look, if you zoom in, guys and girls, you can see how happy Kay looks on the back of the bike there. She's checking someone out, giving some proper side eye there. That's quite good.
That sounds right. Yeah, sounds about right.
We've got a couple of comments going in before I go into my one. Claire, hi Claire, thanks for tuning in. Went around the Alps on a 250 Super Dream many years ago. Just passed my test. Wow, that's an achievement in so many different ways. So I'd love to know more about that, Claire. If you want to put in the chat, tell us a bit about it. That sounds amazing. And the Alps again, something I'd love to do. With what else we got? Picos Paul. Hello, Paul. Thanks for joining in tonight. NC 500 is on my list. And someone mentioned about the Isle of Arran. Now, forgive me. Where's that? I don't actually know where that is.
I don't think Dale knows. I think he's just put that.
He just put it. He's Googled cool places to go, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks like Scotland somewhere. I think.
I'd say
maybe.
Probably up there somewhere.
Yeah. Went to Arran last year. It was amazing. But she also mentioned doing the 5 ferries. Look at all these hints and tips coming in. This is great. And guys, keep these comments coming. It's great to see. Right. Well, I've got a couple of tours that I've done, which I absolutely love. Yes, the NC 500 I did, and it was a fantastic thing I ticked off my list because it was amazing, and it was, and the weather was just perfect for it. The midgies were interesting in some areas. I'll be honest with you, even though it was late September we went in actually, so it was technically late in the season for it, but that was amazing. But if I had to mention one particular tour I've been on, and this is a little shout out for the guys, Ready Tours. They took us on a tour to the Black Forest in Germany. Wow. It was absolutely phenomenal. I recently picked up my my current GS, my GS 1250, and trial by fire. Honestly, I ran it in, got the first service done, and was pretty much straight onto the Channel Tunnel to go over there. And we did so France, Belgium, into Luxembourg or Switzerland, or one of the side ones, then eventually down to Germany. And it was some of the most greatest roads I've ever done. The bike was fantastic, what can I say? But it was the roads, it was the people that we went with. Exactly what everyone's saying here. It's that combination of everything all together, which is just absolutely incredible. And again, if you haven't done it, guys, please look at doing either one of the tours with Ready. Highly recommend them, or certainly the Black Forest. It is absolutely top notch. It really is.
One on Ready. Sorry, James. Didn't they release today that they're going to be doing a female only tour?
Yes, I believe one of the one of the tour guides, Steph. We all know Steph if you know me. She's going to be running some of the tours as well, so that's going to be great. And again, follows on from the last week's one. Oh, go on.
Is that not called a hen night?
No.
Oh, Jay.
Do they need any
Don't go down in my
photographers?
estimations anymore.
Do they need any photographers? Me and Steve are
No, I'm sure they've got that covered, mate. Don't worry. But that's great. You know, again, it's great to see that in the female side of things, there were some really good female-only rides and groups to hopefully give girls a lot more confidence in getting together and improving their riding in a group without some dirty, smelly, perverted men, Dave, who maybe...
Well.
I am joking.
You leave Dave alone.
I wouldn't touch him. Don't worry.
Touch me here. Touch me here.
What's that? Oh, I've got that. I've actually got that, Matt. That's quite embarrassing. We've got the same one. One of us is going to have to change.
There's nothing about women on there, mate.
No. It's all about motorbikes. Right. Okay. So with the tour side of things, obviously we have there's loads of different styles of luggage you can carry nowadays on your bikes. You've got the hard luggage, you've got soft luggage, you've got the new semi-rigid luggage. What's your chosen luggage style? Jay, let's come to you. Where you gone? You're there. Jay, let's come to you first of all. What have you got at the moment for your luggage system?
So at the minute, I've just bought some soft panniers for the GS. I've always gone hard panniers.
Yep.
But I think with the soft panniers, I've always got this thing in my head that if the bike goes over, you don't damage the panniers.
Exactly. What
and with it being
have you had before?
I've had various bikes. I've had a Triumph ST1050 that had the hard panniers on. I've had the Kawasaki Z1000 SX that had hard panniers. So every bike that I've ever had have had the hard panniers. But for the up and coming trip to Ireland that we're doing, that me and Si are doing, I've gone for the soft panniers.
Okay.
So
Which
I'm
ones
going to
have you
give them a
gone
go. I think they're called. Do you know what? No, I've lost. It's gone.
No.
Okay.
If you remember, just let us know. But yes, absolutely. The soft panniers, they say that absorbs the impact if you were to have a bit of an off or or whatever it may be. They're lighter. They're meant to be easier to pack. There's a lot of advantages. The main thing, the advantage with the hard luggage, of course, is the fact that it's solid. It's more secure. You know, there's pros and cons for everything with that sort of thing. Steve, what have you got at the moment? You've got the
we've got the
Honda
Outback.
one,
No,
the Outback. Sorry, no, apologise.
Yeah, we've got Outback Tekka, and I can't fault it at all. I love it.
Is that the one that's on your photo there?
Yeah, so we've got the what is it? We've got the 48 litre on one side, and we've got the 35 litre on the other side.
Yep.
It looks very weird at the back because they're not symmetrical, but you can just pack. You can get so much in them. Everything you need. Obviously, like we're so used to going 2 up touring, whereas everyone else would put across the back seat and load that up. That's not an option for us. Well, this year it will be, which I'm really looking forward to because I've got so much more room to just play around and do what I want to do on the bike. I can pack it how I want to pack it. I've not got to worry too much about leveling,
Mate.
you know, weighing things out.
That means I can take extra stuff as well.
You're not taking any
Yeah.
extra shoes.
Extra shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a shoes person.
But
Yeah, of
one big thing I absolutely love about that luggage is it clips on and clips off of the bike within seconds, and also the chairs.
We use them as seats.
We use them as seats.
Not very comfortable, right? And you probably get piles if I'm sitting on cold, hard metal.
Nice image there. Thank you for that. But no, do you know, I never even thought of that. We always take our own chairs, of course, and the little fold-up chairs or whatever, they're probably crap. Well, that's a solid base. I didn't even think about that. That's brilliant. Okay, I like that. And so is it Givy I can see on the side there? So it's the Givy tracker, isn't it?
The Outback tracker, yeah.
So is that the mono key system? One key does the whole lot of it, and it all clips on, clips off, and it's okay. That's brilliant. And of course, you mentioned about one being bigger than the other. Everyone's got one bigger than the other. It's absolutely fine, but that's because of the exhaust setup, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, because the twins exhaust sticks out a bit.
Yeah.
But when you look at the bike directly behind, it just doesn't look right.
Okay.
It really does.
And you know from pictures that Steve sent you, I like to help him pack it all up.
Yeah. I was going to save that for later, but you're absolutely right. Look, as you can see, guys, this is Kay hard at work. I love the fact that Steve's actually got his reflection in the mirror as well, in the window. Sorry. Are you genuinely asleep there, by the way?
No comment.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay,
You
brilliant.
didn't bore me at all.
So James, it's called Wild Heart, the soft luggage that I've just bought.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
So I'm going to give that.
They're quite good value for money as well, aren't they?
Yeah, fully waterproof. I don't know if you could. No, you won't see that on there, but it's. Si recommended it. Moist Decoy's got some, so we recommended them, so that's why I've gone for those ones.
Okay, and what size are they?
They are about 30 litres, I believe.
Okay, so it's a fair size then. And I mean, have you tested it? Is that all you're going to need for luggage? Because you can go stupidly crazy with these sort of.
Yeah, I tend to take with me an Oxford dry bag as well that goes on the seat, and I've also got a small top box.
Okay, brilliant. The top box that's kind of stays on for the whole trip, doesn't it? That's your odds and ends, your bits and bobs, your passport if you need to, or whatever. Right, Dave, over to you, sir. What have you got? What's your luggage setup?
Well, it's actually the bike. I was on sports bike before. I only started riding 3 years ago, but I was on a sports bike before touring. And I only got the VFR because my son wanted to come out riding with me, and he wanted to come camping with me at some point. So I picked the bike specifically for its obviously capabilities for touring and sport, because I like the sports aspect as well.
Definitely.
Those panniers, that hard luggage there, those Honda panniers, they're huge. And I actually I wrote a list of everything that me and Max would need to go camping, and I measured everything to make sure it was going to go in those panniers before I bought the bike.
Wow.
So I was that anal about it. Bought the bike, everything fitting great, and I even get the Lone Rider tent in the top box.
You're kidding. So, the ADV one or the actual Moto tent?
The actual Moto tent. It goes straight in that top box with all my camping gas stuff.
Kidding me?
No. It's absolutely fantastic. And the only other thing we have outside those bags is the tank bag that goes on there. I've got a 15-litre tank bag. So we have nothing else strapped to the outside. Everything goes in the hard luggage. It's fantastic for that.
See, that's really good. I mean, you wouldn't think it, would you? Because to look at the VFR, as you say, it's a sports tour. It's if anything, it's edging on the sports side of things rather than tourer. But look at the capabilities of it, and they're standard boxes. They're the Honda boxes, top and everything. That's incredible. Wow, that's actually really good. I still can't believe you get the motor tent. I mean, I've got the motor tent myself. I know how big it is and how much room it takes up, and it fits straight in that top box. So I need to get a different top box, I think.
He actually cut it in half before he got it in that top box.
Right, okay, got you. That's fine.
I've actually done a video on how you get it in the box. So there's it might help you out when you hold the bag up and slam it on the ground, upright. There's there's white stripes that go around it, the reflective stripes.
Yep.
If you measure that against your top box, my top box is the width of those white stripes. So I just make sure I pack it all away within that, and then it just drops straight in. I think I take the poles out, but apart from that, it's straight in.
Yeah. And do you put the poles separately in one of the other boxes, or just have it separate?
No, they go on top of the. I can't pack the bag up small enough with the poles in, so I take the poles out to pack the bag up, and then just put the poles on top, and they're fine.
Oh, right. Well, you mentioned that video. I'm definitely going to have a look at that because I'll be interested in seeing how. We'll obviously come on to camping in a second, but the motor tent is fantastic. It is, but it's bloody huge. To be able to take with you. So if you have the ability to be able to maybe split it and take it in different boxes, that's great. That's really good. Picos Paul's just said under-seat storage on the 8th Gen VFR is huge. I don't know. I will take your word for it. That's fantastic.
Fix my bottle of Coke.
So under my seat, when we go camping, under my seat, I take a power bank, my camera chargers, which I charge on the fly, my toolbox. He's right. You can get tons under there. I put some wet gear under there as well. There's loads of stuff. So it's a great bike for that.
It is. I'll tell you, that's underrated bike by the sound of things. That's brilliant. Dale has a question for Kay. Has Steve made a good job of cleaning your bike today?
He did a very good job, actually. I don't know. I didn't even go out and check it afterwards.
You were asleep as well, weren't you?
I was not asleep.
Dale's got a segue. Dale's has to segue into cleaning stuff.
I was going to say, every live we've done, there's always a cleaning question, which is, I wonder why. Other cleaning brands are available, of course.
We didn't use
it. Dale, to answer your question, I did do a good job.
But we didn't use your stuff, but thanks.
No.
Oh! What do you use? Like washing up liquid and stuff like that? Oh,
yeah.
No, we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. Right, bloody hell, this is going to be interesting. Right, okay, camping. So, of course, tangent with touring is
you
the
didn't
camping.
Say what setup you've got, James.
Blimey, yes, I haven't actually got any photos of mine, but yes, no, fair question.
You make us send photos, and you didn't even get any photos yourself.
It's not about me, you see. It's about you guys. That's what it's about. I can get some. I've got photos in the background of me when I was younger. I
can really see you going touring on the Fireblade there.
You laugh. I actually went touring on the Fireblade. It was disgusting and stupid. I had to throw over bags and my wrist. It didn't work very well. But no, right. Current setup. Obviously, I've got the GS. When I first bought the GS, I bought the full luggage setup. So I had the top box and the side boxes, which are, of course, the hard aluminium luggage. They were great. They served a purpose. I had these inner bags, which actually I have like that. So they just slop into your bags. You can leave the panniers and stuff on the bike if you want to. So that's great. But I found that they were a little bit too big, a little bit too heavy. I don't know. I was looking for other options, and funny enough, I was actually looking at the Gibby Trekker setup. I was looking at the soft luggage, and then Lone Rider. They kind of came out of nowhere for me. I wasn't really looking for things, and then I saw the Lone Rider Moto bags, which was combining hard luggage and soft luggage to be a semi-rigid style. So it's designed to be as solid as it can be when you're riding, but it's got the flex if you are to have an accident, God forbid. It's designed to absorb the impact and, of course, come back into shape when it's when you stand the bike up again. So it's more like absorbing the impact, if you like. So that was one of my chosen ones to look at. And when I saw how easy it was to put on and off onto the original bars and things, I just thought, you know what? Absolutely awesome. I love it. So I went for the Moto. What are you guys laughing at?
No.
Sales pitch, yeah.
No.
Steve, make sure you put your hands on the table, mate.
It's not my hand you need to worry about.
What is it then?
Hands on the table.
Oh, right, okay. So that's what I've got at the moment. I am looking at changing my top box because the standard BMW top box is tiny. It is.
I was speaking to someone earlier actually regarding the Lone Rider stuff, and they don't have a substitute for a top box, do they?
So no, at the moment they've got what's called the Outlander bag or the Outrider bag, I think it is, which is a completely soft bag. You strap it to your rack, if you like, and it's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a top box. It's not that sort of style. They are in the process of working on one. I think I've seen a couple of videos which they've released saying they're going to be working on some sort of top box, which is great. Hey, Camp Fam! Hey, how are you doing? Oh, he can't hear me, can he? There's me saying, hello, how are you doing, matey?
All right, Cam.
Good, that's all right then.
His crazy legs on a bike. You haven't met him.
Cameron.
You know Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hello, mate.
Oh, God, don't get too close. Jesus.
You remember you're live, right?
Yeah. How are you doing, Cam?
He's giving you the stank eye.
That's right.
Remember me, Cam?
Hi,
He's
Grace.
trying to forget you, Dave.
Yeah, he's going to run away in a minute.
Be hard to forget,
Yeah,
mate.
my phone's like seconds late.
Yeah. Hi, Gracie legs.
Hiya, mate. You okay?
Yeah. Right,
Good
go on
to
and
see
back
you,
into
matey.
your YouTube. Ta-ta.
Oh, bless him.
Wait,
Subscribe.
It doesn't even subscribe to me.
Doesn't he? Oh,
No.
says it all. But yeah, no, I was looking at the replacement of the top box. Now you've got the Givey setup at the moment. I was looking at the Givey Trekker. I think they do like a bloody 50-litre.
That's the one I've got. Yeah.
Is that the one you got? So you can put two
Yeah.
full helmets in it as well.
You can put 2 full helmets in it, but we never do. And I got. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can get 2 full face helmets. If you've got an adventure style helmet, you can't get 2 helmets in there.
I thought you'd get two in that.
Yeah, you can. It states you can get 2 full face. But I got in contact with someone on Instagram called the Top Box Divider Man.
Oh, yes.
He built me a divider for the top box. I'll tell you what, it's the best thing ever for going camping. It really is amazing. I can section it off. My middle section carries. Oh, where is it?
Oh, don't get off that chair whilst I'm leaning on it.
that goes in the middle. That's all my batteries and stuff like that. My laptop then sits on top of that. My drone goes in another compartment. I've got first aid kit, toolboxes, all that sort of stuff in the other side. And then I can still put a jumper on the top and get it all in there.
So what is that? Is it literally just, you got your standard top box and then they just slot in, or is it a
Yeah,
whole...
so you've got like a plastic bit at the front and a plastic bit at the back, and then you've got like these slots that they slot in, but you can move them around, so you can obviously have like bigger section one side, or you can have 3 sections. They literally just slot in.
Let's have a look at that. That's brilliant, because that's one thing
really good.
I struggle with it when I'm packing stuff. Is obviously it's great having these big bags or these big whatever, but of course it's one big cavern. If you can divide it up, then great. You'll have your certain necessities to hand, like your GoPros or your batteries or whatever it may be. That's brilliant. If you got a link to that, matey, if you pop that in the chat, I think that'd be good for everyone.
Yeah, it's Mark from Leeds, isn't it? It's him
Mark
that does
from
it.
Leeds.
Mark from Leeds. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I don't think he actually wanted his name like saying out though.
It's Mark from
it's Top Box Divider Man.
It's an X-nay on the
Divider Man.
Mark from Sheffield.
Well, brilliant. Yeah. Well done. Dale says Triumph luggage is ridiculous. It's so heavy. My top box is nearly 7 kilograms empty. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Why would you want to take something as big as that? That's mad. Oh, hang on. What's this one here? Found you all. Purchased the luggage for VFR. Just started going out with them on. Not used to yet, but pretty good looking. How do you guys find? We'll come back to camping in a second. How do you guys find riding with or without the luggage system? Now, I'll be honest with you. The first couple of times I did it, I was wary. I think we all would be. I think especially when you're going through traffic or filtering, you're wary that the arse of the bike is a lot bigger than what it may be. But by standing behind the bike, you realise that as long as your handlebars can get through, I think most of it, nothing's really going to be wider than that. I mean, I don't know if you guys, is the VFR slightly wider or what? Because they've got sports bikes.
I think it's the same for every bike. Don't quote me on this, but I'm 99% sure that every single bike, as long as you can get your wing mirrors through. That's the widest part of your bike, isn't it? That's the rule, isn't it, for bikes?
Yeah, providing the standard handlebars.
Yeah, and standard luggage and everything. So I always know if I can get my mirrors through, then I'm fine on the luggage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right then.
Does it come up on there? Yeah, it'll come up on there. I've dropped something in the comments. So if anyone wants a Top Box Divider putting up, hit him up on Instagram.
What's his name? Sorry, what's his name?
The Top
from Sheffield.
The Top Box Divider Man.
Jesus Christ, brilliant.
And do you know what? I think it cost me 20 quid.
Seriously?
Yeah, and it's
blimey, if you put Touratech on that or Wunderlich or whatever it is, it's going to be like 130 quid. It's ridiculous. So that's really good value, and that's great. And if we're supporting a local business as well, I'm well up for that. 60-litre Givey dry bag last year for the NC500. See, dry bags seem to be the way to go. They're quick, they're easy to access. You just unload it, take what you want out, roll it down, secure it. It seems to be the way that everyone is, looking at the moment. So that's good.
Because there's the straps as well, the rock straps, which are really good for. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Them straps.
Do you guys have them as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going
Go
to
on,
say the
Dave.
good thing is once you're there, if you've got a base, the good thing is you can take the bags off, can't you? Once they've got you there, for the VFR, we put it back to normal operational running. We take all the bags, top box, and everything off it.
Yeah.
And we razz around on it as just a regular bike, without the touring stuff on.
Yeah.
So I
I think
suppose
that's the
that's
idea, isn't it?
yeah.
Thanks to Dale for reminding us that we need to get the dry bag out of the loft.
Yeah, we do. For
That
next
I was
weekend.
meant to remind Steve of, and
Well done.
I don't
if we're going
remind
to stop in a
any.
B&B, if we're not going to go camping and stop in a B&B, then there's no reason for us to take panniers. So just go in a dry bag, across the back seat, strap it down.
Fair enough. That's all right.
This
Yeah.
Fast has just put a comment on about the grass box. This is
I
a
had to
running.
ask. Go on.
Yeah,
What is
this
that?
I didn't
It's
know
a
whether it was
running
all right
joke.
I didn't know whether it was all right to swear on this podcast. So
Yeah, go for it, mate. Go for it.
fuck you, Fasty.
He refers to Dave's bike as a lawnmower.
Right. Okay.
He said his friend's got a red Honda lawnmower, which looks like my bike. So
What, with panniers and everything as well?
yeah, and a young boy on the back.
Special.
Oh, actually,
top box on its
actually, do you know what, Mark is, Mark, if you're watching still, mate, I'd love to get you on here as well, because Mark has mastered the art of packing. He manages to have what can only be described as a rucksack like this big, and he managed to get all his camping gear and everything in that rucksack. I don't know how, and that includes things like coffee machine and everything. He is a genius.
Coffee machine.
Yeah, no, it's these little pod, literally like a flask. You press a button, it does it. It's ridiculous, but it's amazing.
I thought you meant proper coffee machine.
Well, if you could, you would.
I always find if you pack your bags and they're quite full, if you drive over it a couple of times with a car, it tends to flatten it down enough for the bike.
Yeah,
that's someone at home is watching this going, "Oh, that's a good idea. I'll do that."
Yeah, don't.
Don't forget the Tassimo that we've got to pack.
Don't take that voice of
Are
someone
we
who drives
talking
an
about
electric car.
Foster?
Yes.
It must be Sport Billy then, if he remembers who Sport Billy is.
Yeah, Sport Billy. Yeah.
I don't know who Sport Billy is, but okay.
Sport Billy, he had a bag that he could get anything out of, cars, houses.
Oh, wait, someone said it. Mary Bloody Poppins. So,
Bloody Poppins. That's more like it. I know who that is.
There you go,
Yeah.
mini presso coffee maker. Mark, if you fancy joining us, matey, please come on the chat, because I think it'd be great to learn some of your hints and tips as well. I think Fasty's getting involved with the coffee machine as well, the AeroPress. Mark does remember because he's that old.
Yes, I'm that old.
I'm not surprised that Fasty mentioned Mary Poppins, because he watches that film probably 3 times a week in his pants while he's sitting in his pants.
In his pants, that's another image I didn't really want. Right, okay, let's get on to camping setup. Now, we've already mentioned a couple of different options out there as well. Let's start with Steve and Kay for this one. So, what is your current... Actually, no, we'll start with that one, because that's your first setup, wasn't it?
Yeah, so this one was... that was when was it Wildbad, and that is the Euro Hike 2 DXL, I think it is.
Okay, yep.
And great tent, lightweight, packs down really small.
It had the night
it's got
thing inside,
it's got
as well, so
blackout
it's pitch black
inside. It was big enough to put a double airbed in there.
In that tent, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it, does it?
No, don't get me wrong.
Because there's no porch to it. There's no front, literally. There's
You've got
space
about
to put
that
your shoes,
much
and
of a
that's
porch
it.
on it. But you could get a double airbed in there. And why was the only reason we got rid of that one?
Because I didn't like trying to get dressed lying down. Do you know how difficult that is on an airbed?
Yes.
When you're rolling around trying to get dressed, and all I was trying to do is put my trousers on. And
there's also that, and in the middle of the night when she's trying to get out to go for a wee, it's just like...
I can guarantee you now, if I've drank too much cider, trying to get off the airbed to get out is usually quite fun. So we changed it, didn't we?
We did,
so that we could at least stand up in a tent.
Okay, and you changed it to that one, I believe.
Yeah,
which is the Euro Hike
Sandero
4-man tent.
Yeah.
This tent is roughly about the same size as the Lone Rider tent.
Okay.
You can get that front flap folds down flat, so you can still park. Yeah, flaps.
So
yeah, you can get the bike into that porch bit, and then obviously there's a bedroom
you can gash
at the back.
yourself out with it, you know.
So is that so? Where I can see, I presume that's Kate sitting down there. I don't know if she's on the toilet or something there, but is that like a garage section or a lounge area? And then behind it, you've got like the actual sleeping area that's behind that.
And again, you could fit. You could probably fit a double airbed and a single airbed in there, couldn't you?
Easily, yeah.
Because it is a 4-berth, so
the only downside to that tent is it's very heavy.
Okay. So is it massively more heavy than? Yeah, well, yeah, that's not always a bad thing, mate. Let's be honest. No, so I mean, is it that much heavier than the previous tent you had, that blue one?
Yeah. So that previous one was 3 points. I did do a review on both of them. One was, I think it was about 3 point. The blue one, the 2DXL, was about 3.4 kilo. That one's touching 10 kilo.
But we split it, don't we, with that one? So we put the poles in the bag and put them on one pannier, and then the actual tent on the other. One, because it's easier to pack back up, and two, it weighs out.
The weight out a lot more. But obviously now Kay's on her own bike, that'll just get strapped across the back seat now. Okay, that's interesting. Until little man starts coming away with us.
Okay, so you rate this tent. Is it one that you're still going to be using for this season as well?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. I mean, how much is it nowadays, if you don't mind me asking?
It was £100.
Yeah, it was not £98.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, that's not bad. And any issues at all with it? Any gripes, anything with it at all?
Nothing at all. No, I wouldn't even say nothing at all.
We didn't have
apart from the weight.
We didn't have no leaking or anything like that.
You can live with the weight.
Well, yeah, I mean, blimey, 10 kilos it's not that much, and especially if Kay is going on her own bike now, it's less than what a pillion would be anyway. So it's nothing.
A lot less.
My only concern was.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry.
A lot less than what I would be.
No, my only concern was when we were going 2 up. Was putting 10 kilo on top of a pannier that's already got packed out. It was either then having to pack the smaller pannier out with stupidly heavy weight. And it's just trying to balance it.
Weight distribution, isn't it? Trying to sort
that's the hardest thing, and that's the only downside to the tent. But like I said, if you're going solo, strap it to the back seat. You're not going to have a problem at all.
Fasty's got that tent.
Fasty's got that tent, and Sai's got that tent as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good then, because obviously there's 101 million different tents. I had to share that comment that you can see there.
Yes, Craig.
So there's 101 different styles of tents and things out there, and loads of different brands. So it's good to be able to get first-hand experience from you guys as well, and actually be able to say, this is actually a really good tent. Yes, it's a little bit heavy, but if that's the only downside, then that's great. That's not bad at all. Right, let's just get rid of that comment before we get pulled off. Jay, what's your camping setup, sir?
So currently I've got the small Lone Rider 2-man tent.
That's the ADV tent, isn't it?
It is, yeah. For me, it's all about sort of like, the weight and everything. And I absolutely hate putting tents up and taking them down. So the smallest, the better for me. And that's the only reason why I go for the smaller one. But I have also got a Euro hike 4-man tent as well, which has got like similar to Steve's with the, I think it's the Sendero one I've got with the porch in the front. But yeah, it just depends. I think I've got another one in the garage somewhere, but it just depends. Like I say, it's for easy packing for me. That's important to me. And it's only
tent that you had. I swear to God, I don't know how you even fit in it because you're quite tall.
Come
on.
Oh, it's a Slummit.
Like that, and it's like, oh, there we go, it's done.
Sorry, it's the Slummit, not the Lone Rider. That's my other one. This is the little Slummit one. But all you do is you lie down, Kay, and roll into it. That's it.
I know. But I weren't too sure how you fit in that, and then you're snoring. Obviously, it's just
don't ever pitch up next to Dave or Si or.
Do you know what?
I'm not sleeping.
I think one of the questions James was going to ask is what would what couldn't you do without taking camping with you? And mine is when you go with these guys is earplugs.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Because you're
Wait,
worse than all of
B
us.
and K keep us up all night, so that's reason enough for the ear.
Right, that's it.
So you don't
Then
even
we've
keep
got
me up all night, let alone you guys.
So you
then
can't
we
keep
got
him up
Moist
all night.
Decoy. We got Moist Decoy snoring like a train. And
Oh,
we
God,
always,
yeah.
he always says to us in the morning, he goes, did you sleep well? And we all go, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll go, oh no. He was like, I kept tossing and turning, and we're like, no, you freaking didn't. Thank you.
He was just tossing. That's all.
Oh God!
I
completely agree.
Jay manages to get in that tent, but his balls hang out. So
Is that that little pouch on the sides for there? That's just pop them out the side.
well, they are actually detachable, Dave, so I can put them at the side or in the front.
He's got such big balls.
Well, this went from family friendly to
it was never family
PG-13.
No, maybe I should have done some sort of disclaimer at the beginning.
You can't invite Dave and expect it to be family friendly.
It has permission.
That's fine.
One thing I like about the Slummit one, I know this is one of them, where you can literally from get it out of the bag to set up. It's like what 10 seconds, if that. It's a really quick setup, isn't it? But I mean, is it? Yeah, no, true. Is it sturdy? I mean, I've seen these, but is it? Would you say that's a sturdy tent? I mean,
yeah. To be fair, when I bought that's the first time I used it there. I mean, the van at the side. That's when I took I took my little 125 Bullet to Wales. So I chucked it in the back of that van and took that tent.
Yeah.
What I found was you have to sleep in it diagonally to fit in it. How
tall are you? How tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
Oh wow! Okay, so yeah, that is okay.
I thought you were taller than that.
No, I'm 5'11". I just wear high heels. Yeah.
Only on Saturday.
I'm 5'10".
But for me, I found it absolutely superb. If you just want a quick erection,
Yep.
I think it was Motorev as well that did a review on his channel for the Slummit. I think it was a bigger one than that, and they're really good tents.
Okay. Oh, so you can get bigger because I've only seen that one size. I'm glad that they've got the that kind of cap on top of it because I've seen the previous ones where it's just the bars that come over the top, and if it does rain, that's going straight through. So yeah, no, I'm glad that they've done that. Okay, cool. And how much is the Slummit one, if you don't mind me asking?
I think that one was about £80, something like that.
Okay. See that again? It's cheap, isn't it? It's affordable, and that you're paying for convenience, if you like, with that one, aren't you? Because it's just quick, it's easy, it's up. Yes, it may not be the most space in the world, but that's compromise, isn't it?
It's like the pop-up tents that you can buy them round pop-up tents, but they tend to not fit on the bike properly, do they? No. But if you could get one of those that just popped up, like I'd go for that all day long, just for convenience.
Okay, nice one. Thank you very much. Dave, dare I ask, what have you got as your erection? Tent. What's your... Yes, tent.
I've got the Lone Rider. I hate buying things twice. I where possible, I try and avoid buying stuff twice. And what I did with the motor tent, the Lone Rider tent, is I watched loads of reviews, spoke to Lone Rider for ages before I purchased it, and finally bought it. I'm sorry if anyone's an advocate for those tents though, because I've had trouble with that tent, and I'm actually on my fourth outer tent on that Lone Rider.
I've heard about this. So what's actually happened? What caused the issues?
The very first time me and Max went away to Aberystwyth, we was putting it up. We was tensioning the front of the tent, and the main tag that holds the front down actually ripped off the tent.
Wow!
So we had to make do for that weekend, and it was flapping around all weekend. That went back. They replaced it with another outer tent, and then that one was leaking.
Oh, okay. So, where was it leaking from? Which point?
It was leaking in the porch area. So of course we threw all our luggage and food and clothes, helmets, everything went in the porch area on the ground sheet there. Where you're supposed to put your bike, let's not forget that. And when we got up in the morning, it was like there was no roof on it. It was just dripping from everywhere. So told them about that. They asked us to send that back. They sent me another one. That one ripped as well. One of the tabs ripped off, and I'm now on the fourth one, which I haven't used yet. So what I'm going to say is Lone Rider is a fantastic idea.
Yes.
The size of that tent, the weight of it, the poles, the pegs, everything about it is fantastic. Except for the bits that it's supposed to do. I mean, I see pictures of people with that tent, halfway up mountains in snowy hurricanes, and I just can't see it. I think it's all marketing, obviously, because we've used it lightly and we've had major problems with it. So I think if it was better fabric and a better quality, the hooks where you put the pegs in, it would be an absolute perfect tent.
In theory.
I think
everything's in theory.
Yeah, I'm going to. The thing is, with the Lone Rider tent, it was bloody expensive, and that's what annoys me more. These £80 tents that these guys are using, I wish I'd have got one of them now. And this will be the last year that I use this Lone Rider tent, so I'm going to use it for the next 2 camps, and then that's it for the Lone Rider one for me.
I mean, I've got the Lone Rider. I've got both the Lone Riders, the ADV one and the Moto tent. It seems to be, I'm not going to say common, but I have heard horror stories that it's either ripped here or there. I know that they've produced a second version of the ADV tent. I don't know if they bought a second version of this one out yet with the stronger reinforcements or whatever it may be. Like you say, the idea is fantastic. The marketing videos they do, brilliant. It's great having that much space both in the sleeping compartment and the lounge area, the garage area, whatever you want to call it. The fact all 3 sides open. I could go on forever with all the little details, but if it leaks, if it rips easy, it's not worth anything. That's the downside. So that's interesting that you've had the issues. But I mean, has the customer service been good? Have they replaced it nice and quickly for you? Obviously, it doesn't help at the time, does it? Because you're in the middle of the field or wherever.
Yeah, the customer service is brilliant. 100% customer service I'll give them. But the only downside is you have to wait for it to be, obviously transported from America. So it takes a couple of weeks to get your replacement.
Haven't they got a UK distributor now?
I don't know if they've got one now, but I had mine a month ago, my last replacement, and it came from America. I had to wait for it. The downside, though, is what's the point in keep sending me the same products if it's going to have the same problems? That's where I'm at. And for the money I paid for it, I'd rather just have my money back, to be honest. But that's never going to happen now because I've had it over a year.
Go on, how much was it?
I think they're about, I can't remember. I think they're about 500 quid.
About 400 or 500 quid, I think.
Yeah.
It is a lot of money. I mean, like we've just said, if it works brilliantly, then fantastic. The weight of it's fantastic. It packs down nice and lightweight. It's so easy to put up. But again, all these things are absolutely pointless unless the fundamentals of the tent aren't working. So, Lone Rider, if you're watching, sort it out. I'd love to keep using their stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, it's such a shame.
Someone's just commented there. 500 quid. Yeah. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of tent, and it's great, but it needs to work.
Could have gone out for a ride with Motorhead for 500 quid.
That's a hell of a ride. Jesus.
That's how much they charge.
Jay, we've already spoke to you, haven't we? Just done Jay. We've done everyone, haven't we? So tents. There's 101 different tents you can get out there. So there's loads of different options. It's great to see the different ones out there. There's Eurohype, there's Vango, there's Lone Rider, there's hundreds. By the sound of things, guys, if anyone is looking for tents, speak to people who've got them, look at different options out there, look at some of the reviews online, and that's the best way of doing it. So we've got our boxes, we've got our luggage, we've got our tents. What about what goes inside the tent? Sleeping bags, for example. I know someone had a question.
I was going to say, I've just seen someone's comment on this.
The best sleeping bag for summer, in your opinion. What do you think of Wingman? Actually, Wingman, that's worth a mention. Have you seen these style tents? No one's seen them at all. So Wingman do different styles of tents, but as someone mentioned a minute ago, that you kind of put the tent up and then you kind of roll into it. It's exactly that. It uses the bike as the main structure, if you like, and then it just kind of leans across from the bike downwards. It's actually quite a good and quite a good design. What's this? Here we go. Here.
Can I just say my son and his girlfriend are on the chat? So
hi, Max and Paris.
Hi, Paris.
Hi, Max and Paris.
We're privileged tonight to have Lady Paris on board and Sir Max, obviously.
Lady Paris and Sir Max.
Max will tell you also, James, I'm really sorry to interrupt. Max
No,
will
go
tell
for
you
it.
also that on the first camp we had with the Lone Rider, he trod on one of the pegs.
Right.
And it went straight through the heel of his foot. So, yeah, they're bloody sharp, those pegs.
They're sharp and solid, aren't they? They're crazy, actually. You're not going to bend them easily. I know that.
No.
But no, that's crazy. That's brilliant. Well, not brilliant, obviously. I hope he's all right. I hope he's still got a foot and no hole in it and stuff. But right,
Steve, not Kaylee though. Max.
What?
Max. He's like, sup, Steve. I'm like, oh.
Come on, Max. Max has the essential camping apron. Dare I ask what the camping apron is, or do I not?
Yeah,
one of the weekends that we went away on, the Elan Valley, it was Elan. Max and Dave sourced all the food for the whole camp.
Like for the breakfast.
So they did the breakfast and they did like burgers on the evening, and it was like an honesty thing. So you just paid, what you thought would be worth, sort of thing. And that Dave gave all the money to Max for pocket money for grafting.
But to be fair, Max did most.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, Dave sat down and did absolutely f all,
but the apron he had on was it was a naked woman with just the lettuce leaf.
Yeah. Boobies.
Maybe. Wow. Okay. Right. Thank you for that.
Please don't bring your children away with us.
No, I know. Right. Okay. Let's go back to sleeping bags, for God's sake, before we start thinking about the things. Right. Sleeping bags. Again, sleeping bags and sleeping mattresses or mats. They seem to be quite a common subject with this sort of thing. You're right, Steve. Okay, we'll start with yourselves. You mentioned you got the air mattress. Was that the first thing you went for? Have you tried other options before, or is that just the be all and end all? That's what I want.
No, yeah. So we did. We started off on little blow up airbeds. Like just the roll mats that just self inflated. Mm-hmm. We started off on them. I think we did one weekend on that.
I'm old and have bad hips, so
it's comfort, isn't it? You want to be comfortable. Let's face it. If you've been on the bike all day, the last thing you want to do is lie on the floor. So a little bit of old sacrifice, a bit of weight on the bike for a bit of comfort.
I'd sacrifice a pair of shoes for an airbed.
I'm proud of you. Well done.
A double airbed, as stupid as this sounds, a double airbed is smaller than two singles.
I believe that because I've tried that before, and yeah, I think you're right there. And the fact you can obviously, if you've got these inflators, you can turn it so it inhales all the air.
Deflates it as well, yeah.
And it properly compresses it all up, which is good. The downside with them, they're a little bit heavier. I suppose that's the main thing.
And they do go down in the night.
Yes, you've got to make sure that before you go to sleep, you've got to reinflate it because the coldness will make it shrink, etc.
And after a few drinks, that's
we know that feeling.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
Nothing. Don't worry.
Nothing.
Deflations after a few drinks.
Yeah.
I mean, sleeping bags wise.
So sleeping bag wise, we've got two different sets. I'm quite fortunate. I've still got my military sleeping bag, which goes down to like minus 30 degrees.
Wow.
It's amazing. But it packs quite big. Still not massive, but it's still, it's not as small as a one.
Bulky.
Kay's got something very similar to that one. So when we're coming, next month, we'll be using those ones because obviously the temperatures are still a bit cold.
Just having that it's good for minus 30. Do you need it to be? I mean, it's not going to be minus 30 in this country, is it? But
no. But I'm just when I was out in Canada and it was like minus 30 degrees out there. You got into that, and you still did feel the cold. It's got a nice comfort zone of down to about minus 12. So down to about that temperature, when you're in it, you can't feel the cold and you're as warm as anything.
I'm really, really fussy. I don't like sleeping bags, so I will sleep with it unzipped. So the whole point in it being insulated and stuff like that is pointless for me because I get restless legs. So trying to sleep, trying to sleep in a sleeping bag, it's like sleeping in a coffin, and I can't keep my legs just like straight Like, so I have to sleep with it just unzipped all the way down to the bottom. So I use it more as a quilt than anything. So that's probably why I'm always cold. Yeah. But I can't help it. Otherwise, I ain't sleeping.
I mean, even with the sleeping bags, do you still have? I'm not asking to go into details here, but do you wear like pajamas, or do you wear joggers, or do you wear?
Oh, I wear everything.
Okay.
He wears nothing.
Nothing.
The very first time I went camping with Steve, this wasn't on the bikes. No, very first time we went camping, we went to Santa Pod Raceway to watch drag racing. Yeah, he said drag queens.
Drag queens. One of the drag acts, was he?
And it was the very first. We'd not long been together, and he said we went camping and was in the small tent, and he said, "Don't wear anything." He was like, when you wake up, he said you'll want to put clothes on. Yeah. He said you'll want to put clothes on, and then you'll be warm because you'll have something to put on. All night until about 4 o'clock in the morning, I was freezing, and then I was like, "Fuck this!" So I shoved on my jogging bottoms and I shoved on a jumper and a hoodie and everything like that, and then I went straight to sleep. And since then, I don't listen to a word he says.
I suppose it's different for everyone, isn't it? People are hot sleepers.
Yeah, I'm always cold.
I've never had an issue. I'll just sleep, completely start naked. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll get out my sleeping bag, I'll put clothes on, and I'm warm again. The logic is, if you're sleeping in your clothes, you've got then nothing to put on. When you get out of your sleeping bag, you're going to go cold straight away.
Actually, Mark's just backed you up here. Less you wear, the warmer you are in a sleeping bag, as it uses your body heat.
Bullshit.
No,
that's what I'll say to that.
Okay, it will if you zip it up.
You zip it up.
Yeah. I want to be able to move my legs.
Come to the point, Kate.
Something that's definitely pointy, I'll tell you that. No, let's get back on sleeping bags. So
yeah, please, quick.
When we go on summer tours, when the water temperature's a lot warmer, we've got some little OEX 2-season sleeping bags that pack down, literally about that big.
Okay, and they're single sleeping bags. They're designed for summer, you say?
Yeah, but they're like a blanket. Little bit of insulation. I think they go down to a comfort level of 7 degrees.
Okay, so great for summer.
Great for summer, like I said, and they pack down. Still a mummy sleeping bag, so it's got the hood on it, it's got everything, but they pack down to about that. So in a pannier, you don't even notice they're there.
See, that's impressive.
They're actually wider at the feet as well, where, as a mummy sleeping bag goes down to sort of a point.
Yeah, it tapers, doesn't it?
Yeah, these sort of just stay as a square.
Okay. And it's right again. OEX is a brand which I hear a lot of in the camping and side of things, not just for camping gear, for base layers, for everything it seems, which is great. And I haven't got any myself, but they're very highly rated amongst some of my friends and everything. Oh, he's gone up to go and get some. Fantastic.
Can we swap?
Oh, you got to. Right. Okay. So cool. No, that's all right. So you've actually got a set summer and winter. It's camping gear, if you like. Okay, that's interesting. That's good to know. Right.
Because we went camping with the car and stuff like that as well. So we don't just kind of collect them. We've got a lot of camping stuff because we went camping family trips and stuff like that.
And then we've got all different camping stuff, different sleeping bags for going in family tents. We've got all sorts of stuff. We've got an airbed that's as big as my bed upstairs.
Yeah, we do. Love a bit of comfort.
Oh yeah.
I can't get that on the bike though.
No, that's the thing. I mean, we do get some tours that we go on. We get a support van for that. People want the clamping aspect of things, which is crazy. But yeah, one thing I will just quickly say, this one here, my one advice is insulation mat under the airbed. Now, they are very underrated. People used to think that they are a waste of time. They're not. They can actually be the do or die with creating insulation for the air mattress, keeping the air inflated, but also just keeping the warmth. Just separating you from the floor with that little bit of insulation can make a big difference. And I've had that firsthand, so that's brilliant. Jay, let's come to you, sir. Camping, what's your setup at the moment as far as sleeping bags, sleeping mats, creature comforts?
So I've got one of the self-inflating mats.
Yes.
I also put a liner down, which is, the hypothermia blankets.
Yes.
So I'll put that on the base. Then I'll put the inflating mat on top of that.
Okay.
And then the sleeping bag is a Vango. I think it's a 4-season one. Goes to about -20, I think.
Okay, how does that work being a 4-season one then? So is it like the moisture wicking side of idea that it keeps you cool in the summer and warm in the winter?
I think it's supposed to, like, it still does its job like insulates, but it also breathes as well. Yeah, you know, so it's so it is comfortable in summer. But I'm like Kay, I can't zip it up. I have to have it like a duvet.
Yeah.
Because I like to move my legs around and stuff like that. So
yeah,
hence the name.
Yeah, crazy legs. Yeah, but one a good advice that Steve gave me. You know, when we went to Vernwy, Steve, and I got absolutely wet through on the way down, and you said to me about leaving my wet gear on inside the sleeping bag and zipping it up.
Yeah,
that actually.
Took it.
Sorry, took it in the bottom of the sleeping bag. That actually dried my clothes, which was a really good tip that Steve gave me.
So, as in like your base layer sort of thing, your t-shirt, whatever you're wearing underneath your jacket.
Imagine you've got your Kevlar jeans on.
Yep.
Right. They get you get caught out. You get absolutely soaked.
Yep.
Right. When you go to bed at night, put them at the bottom of your sleeping bag next to your feet,
and then do your sleeping bag up. Because the heat from your body and the heat inside the sleeping bag will dry them out.
So
it works.
Everything I've learned from obviously the army.
Yes.
So you go through
during the war.
During the war. You go through river crossings. You do all sorts of stuff. You get absolutely soaked.
Yes.
But at night, then, because you still had to sleep in your combats, at night you'd have a spare set in your Bergen, and you put your spare set of combats on so they were dry. Your wet set you chuck at the bottom of your DOS bag, and then you wake up in the morning, take your spare set off, put your dirty set back on again, and carry on. And they'd be as dry as anything, and they're warm.
So, what about the moisture? Doesn't that like cause humidity inside your sleeping bag? Doesn't that? I don't know.
You kind of get that anyway, though, don't you?
You tend to got all your tents are vented, aren't they?
And you get all that crappy condensation in the mornings anyway, most of the time.
Yeah.
And I think with the sleeping bag that I've got, it let that moisture out, but didn't pull anything back in. So it worked really well for that.
There you go, guys. That's a top tip here from Steve and Jay. That's brilliant. I'm going to try that. Hopefully, I don't get wet, of course, but
we'll go for a river crossing. We'll try it out. It's all right.
Yeah, after you.
Not on his GS. Come on.
No, that doesn't get dirty or wet or anything. No. Listen, this year is going to be different for the GS, but we'll talk about it. No way. As long as it's ceramic coated, it's fine. Okay, so that you said about the hypothermia thing. That's your insulation layer, if you like, and that helps. So you've got the sleeping bag, the 4-season one. You like to have it open, obviously, to stretch your legs. Does that affect you? Do you stay clothed underneath it as well, or how do you stay warm?
I just tend to, sometimes I'll take I've got my base layers on anyway, so I'll wear the base layers and I'm plenty warm with that. And if I do get cold in the night, I will climb in it and zip up for a little bit, and then I find I unzip it again anyway. So
yeah,
but yeah, it works well for me.
Okay, brilliant. That's great. Go on, Dave. What you got? What's your setup, buddy? I saw you rummaging around in the background a second ago. What did you go
Max
get?
To cuddle.
Yeah.
Just cuddles Max.
Yeah. Hey, it works.
Well, if we get cold, like I put in the comments, I just cuddle up to Moisty and give him a nice squeeze. That usually sorts things out. So I bought.
He's not snoring at night, and he's moaning.
Yeah, especially when he spoons you. That's an experience.
Yeah, it's not snoring, Steve. I'll tell you that. So Max, because Max wanted to come out on the bike with me, we bought everything on size. So we had to get specific size to get in the panniers. So we ended up buying, and like I say, I don't buy things twice. So if they don't work, tough crap, we're stuck with them. So we got the Vango, whatever that is,
Ultralight Pro 200.
Pro.
Yeah. So we got 2 of those. They scrunch down. They've got one of these scruncher bags that you can just keep pushing and.
Can I just say that's similar to the one I've got with them straps. They're brilliant because it allows you to make it really small.
Compression bags.
And it goes smaller than that. I've actually opened it up a little bit so it doesn't just sit on top of the cupboard squeezed up. The only thing I'll say about those is they're brilliantly warm, but it's sort of a running joke with me and Max. So Max goes in, no problem, but they do taper at the bottom, which drives me mad. I'm a bit like Kay. I don't like to be zipped up.
Everyone's like me, see?
It must be a sight. It must be a sight for Max to see me trying to get in that sleeping bag. Is just an absolute nightmare for me, and it takes me about 20 minutes.
You have to roll it up like a condom, Dave. That's how you do it.
Takes me about
Peel it
20
on
minutes.
like that.
I'm not even going to lie. There is some
Second
times
skin.
where you open it, scrunch it up, stand up, and then just lift it up and put it over your head, and then just lie down.
Mate,
Yeah.
I
You just
tried
drop down like
everything.
a sausage, though.
And then fall over.
I tried everything. The sleeping bag is so small. I mean, it does fit me once it's on, but getting in it is incredibly hard.
See,
so
10 years ago, Dave, that'd have fit you, wouldn't it?
it would have been, yeah. 10 years, 20, mate.
Oh God.
So that
I would
that's
also
the
just like to
sleeping-
just say, if you don't like having the hood up over your head, just
Yeah.
put a woolly hat on over your head. Keep your face out, woolly hat.
Yeah.
Loose
But
heat
by
on
the
your
time I
head,
get
don't
in
you?
these, by the time I get in the sleeping bag, I usually want to wee, so I've got to get out again, because I'm old.
I
The
feel
good
your
thing
pain.
about it, the good thing about that sleeping bag, and there's only two good things. One is it keeps you really warm, but we also have, me and Max have these, which are the little cushions.
Right, I was going to ask about pillows. Interesting. Okay, yeah. Go on.
Yeah,
What are they
sorry,
like then?
pillows. They're just self-inflating pillows. But the good thing about that sleeping bag, Steve's just mentioned the hood on it. You can actually stuff the pillow into the hood,
Inside the
and
hood.
it doesn't move. It stays there all night, so that's really good. And we sleep on these X30 Traverse
Yeah, we've
like
got them as well.
self-inflating mats. And
Right, how do you find that? Do you find that that's thick enough? Because that's the only issue I've ever had with these sort of mats is I just find that if you're lying on your back and you're flat and you spread your surface area, I find they're okay. But I like to sleep on my side a bit, and I find that they're just not thick enough.
My hips are really bad if I try and sleep on my side on one of them.
Okay.
How do you blow it up though? Because we don't rely on it self-inflating, we always blow it up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah,
blow
so
it.
She's a keeper. She's a keeper.
Good on me.
Yeah.
Hard work, I tell you.
You're not supposed to blow, Kay.
Oh shit! That's where I was going wrong.
But
That's why your balls are so big.
You know, there's children watching this.
Is there?
I don't know.
We're
Where's
talking
Matt's
about.
gone?
We're talking about.
16 now, mate.
We're talking about blow up beds.
Yes, of course we are. Right, okay, so people are commenting. I'm going to start sharing some of these before I get on to anything else. So, MotoRev, thank you again for watching, matey. Bought a size XL sleeping bag off Amazon, bigger than a single, smaller than a double, so you can zip it up and still roll over and stretch your legs. Good tip. I like that. I like the idea of that. But then do they fold up small enough? That'd be interesting because that's the compromise. I mean, I've actually got a double sleeping bag, which is great and it's amazing, but it's like this big when it's rolled up, and it's like, I want to be able to compact it. So again, I think with camping, it all comes down to, with everything, the compromise. Are you going to have something that's going to be really, really good and fit for purpose, or do you want something that's compact? If we can, and if you know anything, guys, or they're watching, or if you guys are talking, that literally melds the two together, I think OEX is the closest to this sort of thing and this sort of setup that there is. But yeah, no, it's finding that compromise all the time. What's this from Nigel? You can get vacuum bags that shrink clothes and mats. Took them to France 2 up. Yeah, absolutely, very good. I suppose the only downside is you need the compressor or thing the same. Oh god, what's this?
PP, come on, mate.
Yeah.
Hug.
No. MotoRef, thanks for responding, matey. Apparently, it folds up the same as a single. That's interesting.
These
if you've got a
compression
link for that,
bags.
go on.
Sorry, James. No, go on.
No, I was going to say, if you've got a link for that, please, MotoRef, just pop it in the chat. I'd love to see that because I am in the market for a new sleeping bag, and that would be great, actually. Okay.
You can go to any camping shop and you can buy a compression bag for sleeping bags. It's they're just universal. They're just universal. Obviously, a lot of mummy sleeping bags now come standard. There's a very, very, very. I swear by the brand. They're very expensive though, but I swear by them. Rab. I imagine a lot of people have heard of Rab.
Yeah.
They are very expensive, but because it's all down stuff, they pack down stupidly small, and their compression sacks. You get in sleeping bags that will go down to stupid degrees that are packing down to this big, just purely by putting your body weight on and pulling the straps up. Don't do that here, though.
See, that's what you want. That is what you, Jesus. That is what you want with any of this camping. Yeah. Jesus.
It's okay,
Not
darling.
inviting you guys again.
No, I wouldn't.
If anyone else is watching, guys, if you've got any more questions, please keep them coming in. It's great, and we'll try and engage with you guys as much as we can. So that's great. Oh, right. I think that is all the questions we've got caught up with so far. Oh, God, what's this one?
I agree with Steve. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Also, been an exercise in Canada.
Is that
Sleep
Dick
in the
Wolf?
buff. Then, when you put clothes on in the
Dick
morning,
Wolf?
you are warm. I'm going to have to try that, and that's putting an image in people's heads that
Don't
they
do
don't
it.
want. But
Yeah.
I am
Don't
going to
do
have to
it.
try it because I mean, seriously, because it obviously works for some people.
Yeah,
and
but
the
only
future-
if you like to have the sleeping bag zipped up, which you don't.
But I'm willing to try it. I'll take one for the team. I'm going to get one of these XL sleeping bags now, so I can stretch a bit more.
I know I want one of them now as well.
No.
Is there
Well, now
something?
that I've got on my own bike, you can.
Is there something you can buy that's like that fits you like a onesie? So you've got, like the legs, like a sleeping bag that you can put your legs in, like trousers.
I seen this the other day.
Go on.
I seen something like this the other day.
Yeah.
Aldi had one. I think it was about 35 quid, and it was a onesie sleeping bag suit. So
Yeah.
it had the hood, zipped up the side, arms, legs, and it had like big fat slippers on the bottom.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. Brilliant idea.
That is great, and that solves everyone's problems. That's interesting. I'll have to have a look at that as well. That is that going to be better than a normal sleeping bag because you can stretch, you can move? I don't know.
I bet it's
I
heavy
like
as,
that.
I bet it's heavy as hell.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stitching, and you're not going to be able to compact that as much or fold it as much. So, but I don't know. That'll be interesting. If anyone watching has had experience with that, please let us know. Here's a question: what are the best foam mats, not inflatable ones? So, Steve, you obviously got the inflatable one at the moment. Have you still got any of the foam ones or the self-inflating ones, or do you not use them at all now?
Exactly the same as what Dave's got. There you go.
Yep.
Exactly the same as what Dave's got. We've both still got one of them each.
Yep.
I've still got.
Oh, thank you, Dave.
There we go.
The glamorous assistants. There we go.
Straight out of the Sport Billy bag, that.
Oh, he's gone. Just me.
Oh, okay, he's gone. That's fair enough. Is he gone to go and get one?
Yeah. Oh, no.
I think
Even
to answer the
something
question
like
quickly.
this.
Oh, go on. I can't really see.
Isn't
but
it yoga mat?
So these are just little foam
Not that
mats.
do yoga.
They cost a couple of quid, but that,
Yeah.
honestly, that is all you get issued in the army. Something like that, and just that tiny little bit of foam will take the cold away from lying on the ground.
Yeah, 100%. I'll agree with that.
Okay. But what about comfort? I mean, that can't be comfortable.
Oh God, no, it's not comfortable.
No, they're not comfortable at all.
Keep you warm, though.
It'll keep the cold off, yeah.
It'll keep you
No
warm.
point in being warm if you can't get comfortable.
Well, shoes, I suppose. But
Do you know what I found as well? When we did one of the Vernwy weekends, they hadn't cut the grass. Can you remember that, Dave? The first one we went on.
Yeah.
And that makes such a difference underneath the tent if the grass is quite long, because it acts like as a cushion.
I'll
But
say
then,
it's a good way as opposed to a bad way. That's okay, yeah.
yeah, but when you've got, obviously, when it's freshly cut and you've got all this sort of deviations in the grass, obviously you've got to position your tent, haven't you? So you get, so you've got no lumps sticking in your back. But yeah, I found that with long grass, if you put your tent on long grass, it helps a lot as well.
Okay, that's interesting. I think to answer the question from BMW GS Black Gus, great name by the way, you can go to these camping shops now, and 9 times out of 10 they've got them all laid up, and you can literally sit and put them on the floor, lie on them, and do it. You may feel stupid or whatever, but you cannot compromise on the comfort side of things. So, by all means, go to these shops. I know that Go Outdoors and places like that, they've got them all ready. You can lie on them, you can tech them, you can test them, you can roll over. Do it, and that's a really good way of making sure you get the right one. I made the mistake. I went for a cheaper option, thinking, it's not going to make that much of a difference. I think now I'm looking at some of these other ones. I think there's a company called Kilo, which I've seen on Facebook and things. They do these mats now where they're designed to fold even smaller than the other ones, but yet they when they're inflated, they're even bigger and more comfortable. So Kilo's a brand I definitely look out for and see what's what there. Okay, cool. What was the brand of your inflatable mattress out of interest? Was that just a generic inflatable mattress, or was that just
the one that we've got the same as Dave? That's OEX, and then the double air bed. I think it's a bloody Berghaus or a Vango standard double airbed that cost us about
It's not
12.
Berghaus,
I think
then.
it cost about 12 quid.
Berghaus is a bit more
Okay.
expensive, so it wouldn't be Berghaus, but yeah.
Okay. That's
Those,
interesting.
those little roll mats, though, as uncomfortable as they are, they're lifesavers. That's why the army
Yeah.
issue that you can sleep outside with them in the rain. They're bloody good. So I'm a bit like Steve. If I was camping on my own, I'd have one of those, Steve. 100%.
Okay.
And I'd have a bivvy bag as well.
Yeah.
A
Do you
bivvy
all
bag.
take pillows as well, guys?
Yeah, those little, exactly the same as what Dave's got, just a little roll-up pillow. They're about
same sort of thing.
They're only about that thick.
Can
Yeah.
you tell by my face
Yes.
that Steve gets the decent one and I get like this little farty thing that's as flat as anything? And I'm like in the night, like, where's my pillow? Where's my pillow? And then I've got it. So I have to use a jumper or something as well, because I mean that is just nothing.
I just get my my jacket and roll it up and then put something soft over the top of it, and that's fine.
Well, this one blows up into a 25-year-old brunette.
Oh,
you pay extra for
that. I'll do that again. I'm going to screenshot it. That's pretty. Wow. Someone just asked the question. Very quickly, moving on. Camping stoves. So food. So when it comes to camping, touring, that sort of thing, there is different ways of doing it. A lot of people love campfires. A lot of people like take barbecues if they can fit them on there, or there's barbecue setups, or they go to the local pub. I personally love cooking while I'm at a camp, whether it be a campfire or a stove or something like that. I have a little gas burner, a little frying pan, or a little pot, or whatever it may be. I think that it seems to be the most common way of doing it. I think the jet boils is another name that people have. Steve, you seem itching to have a go. So go on. What have you got?
No. You've already just named it, mate. And I know people are going to give me a lot of stick, but I highly rate the jet boil. I really do rate it.
Go on. Why? Sell it to me.
I've got obviously a lot of experience with it. It was the fastest way for us to cook food in the army, and everything there I've just utilised back out. You can go outdoors and you can get meals pretty much same as rations, and they're small, they're lightweight.
We used them when we did the
charity event we did a year ago. We went to go outdoors, we brought a load of them, and within 2-3 minutes, the water's boiled and you've got hot food instantly.
So these the little, if anyone hasn't seen them before, they're little sachet things, and then you just put them in the water, let the water boil around the bag sort of thing, and it cooks the food for you.
Yeah.
And on the picture, they look fantastic. It'd be like a roast lamb dinner or I don't know, curry or something, but essentially it's much.
To be fair, all it does is just heat it up. I mean, because it's all already cooked, so you could eat it cold. Because there's a couple of them that we did just eat cold.
Eat it cold.
But yeah, you can just heat it up if you want. But to be honest with you, I was a bit like rations. I'm not really keen on that. I mean, I'm not a fussy eater, but
they've come on. These ration packs have come on millions of miles compared to what they used to be.
But if you're not into that, Kay, which it sounds like you're the same as me, really. So when me and Max go away, we was doing pasta and dolmio and all sorts in a little pot on a tiny little. I haven't got the jet boil because a jet boil wouldn't fit with all my stuff in the panniers.
Yeah.
So I bought the smaller, just a
little
smaller
pocket rocket thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And we do the lot. We get some bread from the local shop if we can find any. We just do the dolmio and stuff as well, and pot noodles and all that.
So do you take the cooking stuff there, but then when you're there, you go to the local shop and get the actual ingredients? You don't take it all with you?
Yeah, the downside for me and Max is that we can get everything we need for a weekend away, for 4-day weekend, 5-day, whatever. But we can't get any food in. That's it. We literally can't get nothing in. We can get tea bags in and stuff, but usually what we do is we set up, throw everything in the tent, and then we go off to find a shop. And we straight away, Max carries on tidying up the tent and finishing that off while I'm off going to get some food for the weekend. And then I fill the panniers up with food and then come back and then we're set.
Good idea. And then I see you set for the 2, 3, 4 days, however long you're staying there for. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Go on then, Jay. What's your? Oh, hang on, 1 second. I've got to share this comment. Best camp bed is several pints of strong beer before bed.
Yeah,
I'll go with that. Yeah, that's fine. Brilliant comment there. Thank you.
Funnily enough, I don't have a problem sleeping after a few.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think I would either.
Beers.
Hey, what's your
Yeah,
cooking setup?
beers.
So I'm like Dave really. I think what I tend to do is I try and take a lot of snacks with me. So like you can buy like several biscuits and stuff like that with you just as snacks. But then if you get to camp and there's a local shop, go down to the shop, pick stuff up. When we went to the Alps, I actually took in tins all day breakfast in tins. So I managed to squeeze them in various locations. I think I had about 10 of those.
Yeah, I bet you did. Every orifice.
Yeah. But no, it's just easy. It's convenient. As regards to sort of cooking, I just have the, like the 3-in-1 sort of tins that you can get, like the dishes.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, you just get 3-in-1 of them. And then just like you said, James, with the small portable sort of heater that clips onto a little gas bottle.
That's it. Yeah.
So and I find that works. Yeah.
Do any of you like to do campfires? I mean, I know it's old school, and I mean, when I take my son, I love just go to the local shop, get some sausages, cook them over a campfire. Is that something you guys do as well? I think you've got to. It's part of the experience as well, haven't you?
But as long as the campsite allows open fire, it'll happen.
Yes, of course.
I think that's what it is, and I think if you can get to a local shop, once you've set up camp and you've emptied your pannies, you can maybe pick one of those disposable barbecues up as well and things like that. But it is all dependent on the. Yeah. No, I was just going to say, it all depends on the campsite, doesn't it? Whether you're allowed open fires and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been taught how to light a fire with flint and steel, so I'm a pro now.
Look at you! You have to do us a YouTube video, Kay, so we can see that. That'd be
and
interesting.
Fire.
What was that, Dave?
Sorry, I just got panicked then. Did Kay say she was starting fires?
I know how to start a fire with flint and steel, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have to do it, do you? Because that's scary, isn't it? Allow you.
I'm a bit of a pyromaniac.
Yeah.
I am. I'll be honest with you, I am as well. I love it.
I'm not. He is.
I'm not a pyromaniac. No, I'm a sensible adult.
No,
we all love fire, don't we?
Exactly. All blokes, they just levitate to the fire. Man, fire.
Fire.
It's so true.
Me poke fire.
Yeah, it's like that. Steve Stakay, he's got woman fetch firewood.
I'm like, fetch it yourself, you dickhead.
Yeah.
I can just see Steve doing that. That's brilliant. Another comment just
don't
come
let
in.
me loose with an axe.
I wouldn't dare, mate. Don't worry.
No, you don't want any axe wounds, do you, Steve?
No hairy ones either. Right, I buy ration bags off eBay, which are nearly out of date. The dates inside are much longer than the outside bag. Cheaper than go outdoors. Okay, interesting.
Rations don't go out of date.
They don't?
Nah, they don't go out of date.
Okay, so what's this? What is the date then? Is that just like a sell by date, if you like?
Yeah,
it's a best before, isn't it? It's a best before date, not a use by date.
I think it's just a legal thing they have to put on there. Yeah. It's just like, if you go to the shops, you get a tin of bloody baked beans. Let's face it, you can leave a tin of baked beans in the tin for 20, 30 years, come back and it'll be absolutely fine. Ration packs.
I probably wouldn't do that myself, but that's interesting to know. God, I'm twitching now. I'm thinking of your cupboards. Everything's out of date. Everything.
Oh no, it's not.
I'm thinking of my toilet after a tin of beans after 30 years.
Oh God! Imagine sharing a tent with him after that. Jesus.
If you open Steve's wardrobe, it's all out of date as well.
Too right.
Okay, bit of a hint for you there. Good fire starter is fluff from your tumble dryer. It sparked nicely.
I find from your belly button.
Belly button.
Or bum fluff.
That's of course Steady Cruiser, who takes his tumble dryer on the camping trips with him. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, they usually take mine.
I mean, I've got to ask Steady. Do you have like a bag and you bag it up? And here's me tumble dryer fluff for the fire.
It's not collection from the year.
That's brilliant. I mean, if it works, it's great. I mean, it's better than Flint.
I'll tell you what.
Whatever.
These things as well, Kay's
makeup.
Yeah, makeup pads.
Oh, the cotton things.
Cotton wool. Yeah.
Have they got?
I can't touch them. They make me feel funny when I touch them. They're weird.
Why not?
Why would you do that? You watch. Everyone watching is going to just switch off now because of that.
James, have you seen how clean his teeth are? That's what he uses to clean his teeth.
Oh no, God, I'm just thinking of that's disgusting. Right, let's quickly move on. Right, there is something primeval about campfires. Really enjoy the chats around them, and do you know what? Chatting around a campfire is brilliant, and I highly recommend it to anyone. Whether it's just you and your kids, or your friends around the campfire, there is so many things you can chat about around the campfire. It's brilliant. It brings everyone together. I try not to sing. Some music in the background's always good. Do you take your guitar as well, do you, Kay? In fact, I want to see that. Next time you go camping, air guitar. Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't fit my proper one in the bike, so I take my air one.
Take your air one that pumps up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Steve, I'm gonna have to. I'm sorry, Steve. Just go away. Right. So.
It's all right. There we go.
Yeah, thank you. Much better. Much better. Right. Okay.
Why do you not like cotton wool?
I don't know. It's just some people do. Do you know what?
Alan
I'm not
from
the only one.
Don't like it, does he? No, I know quite a few people that don't like cotton wool.
Hate it. Right. Okay. Let's move on to the necessities. So when you're going camping, things that I'm not surprised, mate. Things that when you go camping that you think, oh, brilliant! I'm so glad I bought this. And the first one that I always think to mind, which Nigel has very kindly just said, battery pack. We live in a day and age of technology. I know people go camping to get away from it all, but mobile phone or even charging things like, I don't know, your speakers or your compressor for your tire pressures or whatever, having some sort of power battery is well worth it. What do you use? Right, brilliant. There you go. We'll start with you there, matey. What's that one you got
there? If you put a W on it, it's a wanker.
Right, Anchor. Yes, Anchor seems to be quite popular. Energizer,
yeah. That lasted. So
doesn't go on a pipe.
Yeah,
sounds like you, Plasty.
We use this. I actually charge this up on the bike as well. So if we go out on a ride on one of the days, I leave this in the boot on the bike and just charge it up in the bike. We've also got 2 round lights that are also power packs, so we charge them up before we go away, and we use them to charge the phones up overnight. And then if anything goes flat, which nothing ever has, I've got to say, they've all lasted 4 days. We throw them in the boot of the bike. We've got 2 USB sockets in there, and we just plug them in there and just cycle them.
Powered through the bike itself into the top box. That's brilliant.
Yeah, so just throw that in the boot of the top box. The boot of the bike, and just charge it. You know, you might as well while you're driving around. So, but we've never actually run out of power while we've been on a camp. So
we've use that to charge everything. Obviously, you're charging things on the go, as you say, but is that mainly for charging your phone when you're on the campfire at night time, or your GoPros, or are you just continuously charging them while you're going?
So this is an emergency one. So we've got 2 lights that we use, which are also power banks, and we use those 2 lights to charge up the phones overnight. And this is there as a spare in case we really need power. But to be honest, I don't think we've ever used this. I think we've only ever used the 2 lights that we take away with us. But I always take this anyway.
Yeah.
So even got great.
What lights are they?
Them little, them little white lights that you bought to Vernway? They're great. They are.
I've done a review of them on my channel. I'm not trying to promote the channel, but I am.
No,
so
please do.
I did a review on these lights because I think, aside from a chair, I mean, if you don't take a chair camping with you, then trust me, you're going to have a bad camp unless you can sit on your hard boxes, which we can't. But these little lights that I bought, which were only 15 quid, they're the best thing I've ever bought ever. They're just incredible. They charge your phones. They've got loads of different settings on them. You can dim them, brighten them. They remote control and they link up. So if you've got one in the porch area and one in the front of a night, if you just press the remote control, they both come on, both go off.
Wow.
They're magnetic as well, so you can just stick them to a pole if you've got a metal pole, or to someone else's petrol tank, not your own, of course. You don't want to scratch it.
Oh no, of course.
They're just brilliant. And also we use them to charge our phones all weekend, Friday to Monday. And when we go home on the Monday, there's still 2 bars of power left in them.
Bloody
so,
hell.
And we're using the lights all night as well.
I would be interested in knowing what these are, because they sound ideal. Because again, light is something that people forget. You know, you set up the camp, it's all light time and everything. You sit around the campfire, and then when it's time to come to bed, you can see nothing because it's pitch black. So something like that sounds ideal. What brand are they? Do you know, or have you got a link anywhere?
if you move on, I'll go and get them, and I'll see what they are.
Yeah, fantastic. Obviously, everyone's going to come onto your channel and have a look at them on the video as well. But please do go and see all these channels, guys, and please like, subscribe, comment, get involved with us all. It's what keeps us going. But I'll let you go and sort them out, Dave. Right, Jay, what have you got?
Yeah, so I've got an Anchor one like Dave. I do charge it off the bike, but what I've also got is the DJI camera. I don't know if you probably can't see that actually.
I can't.
So that's one. So that's the charger for the DJI batteries. There's 3 batteries in there, but it also acts as a power bank as well.
Oh wow! Okay.
So, and I've also got the DJI. The wireless mic. Yeah, and there's also the drone. Yeah, you can charge off your drone pack. I've got the wireless mic as well for DJI, which I can also use as a power bank. But just like Dave, I've got everything charged. Well, everything's charging on the bike as I'm riding.
Yeah, that seems to be the way to go.
Yeah, so when I get to camp, obviously I've got loads of options to use for charging my needs. Really,
that seems to be the common thing. If you can obviously charge it while you go, you can't not do that, because these bikes now, they're so powerful. They've got that much voltage going through them. You can charge your phone, you can charge your headset, your cameras, everything, and that is the best way of doing it, because you haven't got to be sitting around waiting for things. So when you do come to a stop, it's charged, it's ready to go. That's the best way of doing things. Out of interest, do you guys have chargers for your phones hardwired into the bike? Like I've got the quad lock, for example. Which one have you got, Steve?
I've just got a cheap Amazon that's just wired from the battery. Then it goes to the iPhone wire, which then routes underneath my tank and into my ultimate add-ons case.
And that's fully waterproof as well, isn't it? So that's brilliant. Can you actually use your phone through the case? I think we've spoken about this before. You can't, can you? Oh, you can. Brilliant.
Depending on what gloves you wear.
Yeah, but if you've got your gloves on, you can use it through.
Yeah, if you haven't got gloves on, you can use it through perfectly. If you've got the, like the fingerprint sticky.
Can I just say, sorry, just to jump in. Teapot One put something on his channel about some tape that you can get that wraps around the gloves. So if you've got gloves that haven't got that fingerprint thing on, you can get this tape, and it is actually quite good, because I used it on a pair of mine, and it allows you to use your phone while you've got your gloves on.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Do you know what tape it is at all? Or
I'm not sure. No, it was quite a while ago that Teapot did it, but it's just a little tape that you put round, and it allows you to use your phone.
Yeah, just sort of on the tip there.
That's it.
Sticky tape.
Yeah,
and all it allows you to do is just scroll on your phone.
And it sticks really well on your gloves as well. It's quite good stuff.
Look at him with his flashy lights.
No, wrong.
I'll be honest. I was expecting them to be bloody hell. I was expecting them to be a lot bigger, but they seem brilliant. So that's a light, a charger, and it lasts the whole bloody weekend. Yeah, disco as well.
Yeah, well, what it does with that is he actually gets through traffic with them flashing lights. Pretends he's a policeman.
Puts it on his helmet.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It's got one for each helmet, anti-K.
There's loads of different, but obviously they're good lights. You can dim them, brighten them, and stuff. Now, I haven't used these. We used these on the last weekend tour we did, which was at Vernwy. What's that? About 6 months ago.
Yeah.
We used these. We used these all weekend, and I didn't charge. I haven't recharged them since I've come home. I used them all weekend, and there's still 4 lights left. Look,
that's ridiculous. That's brilliant.
Still, 6 months ago, they're still fully charged, and I haven't touched them since. They've got a handle on them, so you can hang them up. It's all magnetized, so you can just magnet it to something. It's got loads of modes, but you can, you just plug your phone in, and they're waterproof, and you can throw them on the floor. They bounce off concrete. They're brilliant, and they are.
Can I test them out? Can we test them out next camp?
Well, I've done that. I've actually dropped these from a height onto concrete when I was putting them away in the shed, and they just bounce around. They've got armored plastic around them. It's like really tough stuff. These are Lank2, LANKTOO, but I think there's about 10 different brands that do the same design. So you might not get a Lank2, you might get something else, but they're fantastic. And like I say, the remote control, so you can control both of them or 10 of them off just one key fob, which is good.
Bloody hell, I can imagine this. You've had a few drinks, you're coming back to your tent at night, you press your button on the remote, and all these lights light up like a landing strip for you to your tent.
And you're like,
Yes, there we go. That's brilliant.
James,
James,
though, he'd be in the wrong bloody tent. He'd be like, "Oh shit, my tent's over there."
I'll be a Dave's tent. Brilliant.
James, one of the things as well, I think, how you've got your jump packs.
Yes.
The jump pack that I've got, you can actually use that as well to charge.
Right, jump pack is something that a lot of people recommend, especially if you're doing the longer distance tours as well. Not just for jump starting, but again, you can plug everything into it. You can run a compressor on it. Which one have you got?
I can't remember. It's some Chinese one, but it's been a really good one.
Okay, yeah. That really worth it, because God forbid if we've got all these electronics on the bikes, if you do leave something plugged in, or you don't turn it off, or you leave your lights on or whatever, and you come back to a flat battery, the last thing you want to do is try and jump start your bike in the middle of a field. That's not going to happen. But with a jump pack, brilliant. It'll get it all set up, which is great. So yeah, no, that's great. Really good advice there. So definitely some sort of power bank or something to charge all your items. Or if you can charge it while you go, that's obviously the best way of doing things. But having backups and spares is brilliant. What about? I'm sure we all do puncture repair kits. Do we all have some sort of puncture repair kit that we had before? No. Oh, yeah. Dave, don't. That's interesting.
Dave had a mishap in Scotland, didn't you, Dave?
Yeah. So I think we unknowingly did this. I don't think we planned this, but I think one of us took a puncture repair kit, one of us took a compressor, and I took the flat tire. So between us, Fasty J and Si, we had everything we needed if one of us had a problem. I think I had a toolkit, so I sort of made up for it that way. And I got a flat tire in Scotland, and we were stuck at the caravan basically. But within 10 minutes, these guys had fixed the puncture. Another one of them got the compressor out and blew the tire back up, and we was back out when we Jay. Didn't take long at all.
Ironically, it was a TRRS socket that had punctured your tire.
Oh,
yeah, I've still got it. It was an audio, the end of an audio cable, and I've still got it. I've kept it for posterity because it must be one of mine.
If not, you just nab someone else's.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, it actually that got you round for the rest of that day, didn't it, Dave? And then it also got you back home as well.
It did, yeah. It got me home, and funny story. I got home and spent 140 quid, was it, on a new back tyre, Jay? And then I went round the ring road in Stourbridge from the tyre place and got another puncture and ended up having to pay another 140 quid.
So it's Sod's law, isn't it? We've all done it.
Yeah, because they don't
repair them. So
they don't plug them, do they? No.
140 quid, new back tyre. Went round the ring road in Stourbridge, got another puncture, went back to the same place and said, "Oh, mate, help us out." And he went, "You need a new tyre." And that was it. So it cost me 280 quid for one little audio thing.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, matey. But it happens, doesn't it? And it's crazy. Having these puncture repair kits, I'll be honest with you, that is one thing I will never, whether I'm going on a tour or just down the road to get some milk, I will always take it with me on my bike, because I've used it, I'd probably say 3 times now since I've had my bike. Or in bikes in general, and they are so quick and easy to do. The bacon strips, if you like. You get the plug, you make the hole a little bit bigger, you push the bacon strip through, done. And it's go on.
Unless you like Steve's got. You got tubes in yours, Steve?
I have, yeah. I mean, I'll openly admit,
shit, yeah.
I have got a plug-in kit always on my bike, just in case anyone ever gets a puncture. But this is where I've got an inner tube repair kit on me.
Oh, you have?
Well.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing to take
do you know how to use it? Okay.
Yeah, I just can't get the tyres off, though.
There is a video that Fortnite, and I love Fortnite, I love his videos, I love his channel. He does a video on the 5 top things you need to be able to do on your bike yourself. And one of them is being able to take a tyre off and replace the inner tube. Definitely worth watching, matey. I'll send you the link later if I remember it. And you can do it with the basics that you take on a bike. You don't need any special kit or anything. Obviously, it would help if you did, but you can do it. It's brilliant. It's really good.
Steve, I've got a set of irons tyre levers that you can have that I don't use.
Yeah. There you go. That's brilliant.
Well, I'm touching wood. I'm going to jinx myself now, but I'm touching wood that I'm not going to get.
Touching wood.
Yeah, hey, I'm not going to get anything this.
Sorry, James. Sorry, take a drink.
I don't want to jinx myself, but come Christmas and the winter months this year, I'm going to do a full conversion on the tyres. I'm going to go
tubeless.
I'm going to go tubeless. I've got to do a lot of research on it though, because of the back wheel of my twin. The rim doesn't it's not, it doesn't do that. It's sort of concave round sort of thing. I've looked at different options. I've even looked at purchasing a new set of rims. That's just out of the question. No, I can't afford that.
No, it's expensive nowadays, isn't it? It's crazy money, actually.
Can I just say as well, you buy that sort of glug stuff, don't you, that you can use as a temporary repair. But I think that absolutely knackers your wheel up inside if you start pumping that in. Yeah.
Car tires, fine. I would never use it on a motorbike tire because the balance is so, you've only got two wheels for a start, so you've got to keep it as best it can do. And 9 times out of 10, it just pisses out the tire anyway. It doesn't actually solve anything. So,
do you know why they don't repair motorbike tires anymore?
Go on.
They've banned it, yeah.
Go on.
So you won't be able to get it banned. So some guy, I'm not sure which country it was in. I think it was in the UK somewhere. Some guy, he was going down the 3rd lane with a pillion on a motorbike. He had a blowout, went across the central reservation. I think he killed someone in a car. And when they did the autopsy on the bike, what went wrong, he had like 14 repairs in the back tyre.
Why would you no, I'm sorry.
Why would you not just get a new one?
So because of that guy, they went, that's it. You cannot repair a bike tyre after that. That's what I heard anyway. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard a few people say that.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me that the people nowadays you see them with bold tyres, let alone, plugs and whatever. But no, I mean, if personally, if I have a puncture, I'll repair it on the roadside. Fantastic. I'll take it to a reputable repairer, and you can get these, get the tire off, plug it or patch it from the inside. That's a far better replacement than the actual plugs. But 9 times out of 10, it's always in my mind it's temporary.
You can't do that now.
No, I do it myself. I take the tire off and plug it myself. But 9 times out of 10, it's a case of right. I fixed it. Yes, it probably would last 2, 3, 4,000 miles. No, sorry. I'd rather replace it because it's the only part of your bike that is physically touching the floor. It's the most, if anything, it's the most important part of your bike. And you can't sacrifice that.
When I went to the Alps, the next day we'd arrived in France, set up and everything. The next morning, I got a puncture, so I got it repaired, and they had to take the tire off, like you say, and they do it from the inside, don't they? And that lasted the whole Alps trip, which was like 10 days.
They will. I mean, if you patch it from the inside, realistically, that's probably stronger than the actual, material itself. But yes, I appreciate that they just don't do it anymore, which is crazy. But it is what it is. Gaffer tape. just gaffer tape.
I'm multitasking.
I can see that. Brilliant. It's an interesting one. So Daniel James, go to Halfords and get a product that looks like green slime. I'm guessing is that linseed oil?
That's the slime that you put on the tube.
The slime, the glug stuff, the slimy stuff.
Yeah.
I think it is green slime. That's what he's talking about.
Oh, okay. Blimey, okay.
Swarfiga. That's what it is.
Swarfiga. Just use that. Swarfiga and gaffer tape solves everything. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Expanding foam's a good one as well.
My pressure's a bit low. There we go, lads.
The good thing about Kartsy's bike, because it's got, you can just get a Halfords and put a cycle tire on it, can't they? So it should be fine.
21-inch cycle tire, mind you. Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Oh, here we go. Here's an interesting one. You can still plug and repair tires. We do it at work.
No, you can't. No bike.
Okay. So it's our discretion based on the overcondition of the tyre and the other premium. So maybe it's down to the individual dealerships. I mean, is that now?
I don't think Dave's agreeing with this person.
I mean,
I thought you was watching Wimbledon then, Dave.
I'll tell you how I know, because the guy who replaced my tyre and then said you've got to have another tyre, and I told him to piss off. I must have rung another 15 tyre shops going out like 20 miles from where I was standing on the side of the road every single one of them told me the same thing. And they're not linked. There wasn't the same franchise. There was all different shops and just one-man bands, and every single one of them told me the same thing. And when I got home, I actually checked it, and they're not supposed to do that. So if they're doing that, if you're doing that, I don't think you're supposed to be doing that.
Interesting. Okay, so that's open for debate. I mean, I don't know if it's a law or don't mean something that's open there. I mean, Steve, I'd be interested to know where you work and if why you maybe can do that. I don't know. Is there something we don't know? Before Dave has another seizure in his neck and he's going backwards and forwards. That's not right.
Going on. Where do you work, mate? Beirut.
Right. Okay. Right, okay, let's have a bit of fun with this one now. Is there any items you have taken camping, touring, whatever it may be, and you've thought, that was an absolute waste of time. Why did I bring it? Not
a woman,
not your partner, not your
Shiwi.
A Shiwi?
Yeah.
I've got so you don't rate it? You don't rate it?
No, I took it, but I didn't really use it because I don't like the idea of going, I'm just going to stick my Shiwi penis out of the tent while I pee out of it, and someone can just see my little penis, Shiwi penis sticking out.
Blokes don't do that. We don't, when we get up for a toilet, we just, pop it out the side of the tent. We go to a bush or something.
Well, then I just go to the toilet.
I'm not gonna lie, I've done that before.
I believe you.
If I'm going to get up and go to the bush, so
I just piss in the hot water bottle.
It's a bit cold. I'll just piss in that.
That's a good shout.
I don't know if it is, but okay.
No, that's one of the things that we've talked that I'd probably say was a bit of a waste of time because, like I said, if I was going to get out and use it.
The Shiwi we mainly got though is when we were out actually on the ride and you need to go to the toilet.
And when we were doing mountains as well.
Yeah, but if we pull up in a lay-by and you're just like, I really need a wee, there's a Shiwi. Go on, go in the bush.
Yeah.
Steve, have you ever used it, mate?
What, the Shiwi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I inserted it in the wrong end though.
He used it for his vagina.
I always take a 5 meter piece of hose in a funnel.
This is someone else's tent.
so it's well away from my tent. Yeah.
Just poke it in Steve's tent.
Like that.
I'm not having that. People are saying that they don't just roll over, and people have never done that. I think every person has done that before.
Yeah, just stick it out the door of the tent.
Stick it out the door because you've been that pissed or something like that, and you don't
even need to be pissed. That's a great idea.
Do you know what I've done before as well? Done it in a bottle inside the porch of the tent.
If it's pissing down with rain, yes, I will have a bottle. I've actually had a full carton of milk, and I've gone, empty the milk. Because I'm not going outside. I've done that before. To be honest.
And then you just stick your arm out the tent and empty it.
Yeah, just literally in the middle of the night, just like.
Yeah.
If it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and it's raining, what I do is just go out the tent and just hose everyone's tent down like a sprinkler. Because they're never going to know. Well, they know now. But.
Now they know.
I'm not allowed to take anything that's not necessary because
you're not allowed to take anything.
So that's the worst thing I could think of because Steve won't let me pack anything else. A Shiwi, a sleeping bag, a bed. That's it.
You get one set of clothes.
That's very kind of you, Steve. That's brilliant.
Pants.
You're on the bike. You're going to be in bike clothes the whole time. What do you need multiple sets of clothes for?
That's true, and that's one thing I will say. I've done it before. I've gone camping, and I thought, right, I need 4 t-shirts, 2 pairs of trousers. Honestly, the absolute because you're spending most of the time on the bike. So as long as you've got 1, maybe 2 base layers or a t-shirt or something like that, your textiles are more than enough to get everything. You don't need to take lots, and that's one thing. If everyone could do, one thing is pack light.
My first, when you do your first camp, you always take too much. Mm-hmm. And I think then when you do your second one, you literally halve what you've got on that bike because, you say, you don't need everything. I think when I went to, I think my first camp was Scotland, and I took about 4 pairs of trainers.
For God's sake, Nigel. I'm the same as you. I've taken loads of things, but sorry, this Jubilee clip. I've got that in my head now. That's not good.
What's a Jubilee clip?
It's a clip that goes round and then tightens.
I'll tell you when you're older.
Like you got like when you got 2 hoses, and then it's got like a flathead screwdriver, and you screw it down, and it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
And they come in different sizes. Just saying.
That's not right.
Go on,
Yeah,
Steve,
they
let's
do.
have a look. Yeah.
Jubilee clippers.
I'm going to show you now.
A Jubilee clip is what
Why
you
have
put
you got red
around
rooms
top of the
on
wheel.
Oh,
you?
because we're talking. How do you spell it?
You just need cable ties. That's all.
AUBI.
Oh, God, that's painful. No thanks.
Well, it's all right putting it on. It's getting it off that's a problem.
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
okay, yeah.
Go on, Dave.
Yeah.
What's your
I just need a
one piece of
catheter
information,
fitted.
one piece of quit that you thought, nah, it's a waste of time. I'll never take again.
Max.
The only thing I've ever regretted taking camping, Max will tell you as well, is a pair of trainers. Now, I really wanted to take them, and I'm glad I did, but coming back, I couldn't get them in the boxes. I don't know how I packed it on the way out, but it was like 35 degrees in Aberystwyth, and I was sweating, and I was working for about half an hour trying to get this one trainer back in the top box or in the side panniers, and I couldn't do it. And in the end, I literally, I was going to throw them away, but then I managed to somehow squeeze it into a pocket or something. But I think just a pair of flip flops or wherever. That's what I've learned now. Don't worry about the trainers. Just put your flip flops in if it's in the summer.
For walking around the camp and stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah. Or wear your boots, for climbing the mountains or going in the streams.
I definitely recommend a pair of flip flops. You're wearing biking boots all day. You need your feet to air out.
Slippers.
Yeah,
slippers,
but that's all. Yeah. Everything else I've took has been specifically packed for camp. So
yeah.
I do take too many bottles though. I'm always worried that the gas is going to run out for some reason, so I take like 3 gas, and they've never run out. So
I must admit, it's surprising how long they last. Even though full whack, it's like it just doesn't seem to go anywhere.
Yeah, I sniff them as well for all night, and they seem to last forever.
Explains a lot.
Oh, we've lost Dave there. So sorry about.
It's not musical chairs. We keep moving around.
I know. Sorry, it's brilliant.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm on top now. I like being on top.
I like being on bottom.
I don't like being underneath.
A university challenge. Foxworth, Dave.
Got a massive image of Dave at night time sniffing the gas. You open his tent at the night time. Don't light it in there, jeez.
In that tent.
No, farting's fine. Just don't light the fucking thing. That's what you want to do.
Don't try that at home, kids. Try it in a tent, but not at home.
Go on, Jay. Over to you. Anything you thought? Nah, I'm not taking that again. You thought it was a great idea to start with, but nah.
His bike.
Taking certain people with me, I think.
Yes, there is that. Yeah.
No, I think what Dave says, it's got to be trainers and things like that. I'll just take flip flops because you've got your boots on. You're wearing your boots most of the day anyway, and there's nothing nicer than taking them boots off and sticking flip flops on.
Yeah.
But I have took literally 3-4 pairs of trainers before in the past and regretted it. So
4 pairs of trainers.
Yeah,
that's rivaling K. That's incredible. The different shoes that you're taking.
Only because I have to tell you to.
I know.
I don't take flip flops because I don't get my toes out.
Yeah, don't get your toes out. No.
No one wants to see them hobbit feet.
Did you say toes? Yeah.
Yes.
Thing that gets me, Kay, is that you didn't mention your industrial straight hairdryer. Of all the things that you take, I would
don't take a hairdryer. Please tell me you don't take a hairdryer.
No, I fucking don't. That's not a hairdryer, it's a dildo.
Oh.
Why are you drying your hair with a dildo? That's what I want.
I don't. I just wave it around.
I was using it to stir my dolmio and pasta.
Do you know she did? She did say that her legs are all over the place in the tent at night. So,
well, yeah, Jesus. I don't really want to end it on that note, so I'm gonna quickly try a different comment. What's this one here?
Yes, 100%.
What was it? This? Do you use a dry bags next luggage, top box side panels, but they're not massive? Which dry bags do you recommend? Go on then. Steve seems to be the king of dry bags. Which one have you got?
Any dry bag whatsoever, whatever dry bag you can.
They're all the same, aren't they? Let's be honest. They all do the same thing. Have you got the one with the valve on so you can release the pressure?
No, I've just got an open top one, and then you
roll it up.
You just roll it up and just release the air that way. But what I do recommend is individually waterproofing every bit of kit.
Yeah, we've got little waterproof bags as well that we'll put stuff in, wrap that up, and then put it in the big waterproof bag.
It's all well and good having that waterproof bag, but if that, for some reason, whatever it is, leaks, all your kit is then wet.
No, fair point.
And also, if you put in wet gear back in that bag as well.
Yeah. So for the sake of 20, I think you can go to Go Outdoors for 20 quid. You can get about 6 or 7 all sorted sizes dry bag, like waterproof bags. You can put your socks, your boxers into one, whack that into the big dry bag, t-shirts in another one, boxers, you know, whatever you want. Everything's separated, but it's all inside one big waterproof bag.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I'd rather be overcautious than have wet boxers for a full day.
No, do you know what? If anything, that's a bloody good hint. That is, I like that because yes, we put our faith in these bags, don't we? But if you do, unfortunately, have an off or whatever, and it just nicks the bag or whatever, that's it. Everything that's inside is wet and ruins. But if you've individually wrapped it, yes, you may see it as overkill. But let's face it, by wrapping it in these waterproof bags, they're not going to take up any space, are they? If anything, they're going to help compress everything down. So,
and you wouldn't see it as overkill if everything was wet.
No, exactly. So that's a really good hint.
Yeah, I've never used one though. I can see, obviously, I get the benefits of it, but because I put everything in the hard bags as much as possible, that I've never used a dry bag. If I was strapping things to the bike, then 100%. You know.
Yeah. See, I even do it in the hard panniers. I'll put a dry bag inside my hard pannier.
No, I don't do that. That's ridiculous.
Dry bags inside of dry bags inside of a pannier.
Yeah, but wrap the pannier in like a bin bag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I will say, all my
and spray it with waterproof
interior little bags are all different colours. So when I'm packing them out, I know.
See, now you've gone too far. I know
red is t-shirts, and I know,
Yeah, this is what happens.
And the one that's vibrating is case. Is that right? Yeah.
You say that, but let's go back to when it's night time and you're looking for, right, I want a clean t-shirt and clean pair of boxers. Right, I need, instead of like rummaging through everything, going, oh, what's in this one? You can go, right, I know the other one, that's what I need.
Do you have like a Monday bag and a Tuesday bag and like a
that's my
and then the drug bag and the alcohol bag.
The drug bag and the alcohol bag.
I don't know if this is right or wrong, but all of our clothes, every single piece of clothing that me and Max take for the 3 or 4 days, whatever it is, goes in our tank bag. We know exactly what's in there, the way we've packed it, pants, t-shirts, joggers, whatever. It all goes in the tank bag. We don't put any clothing in the hard bags. That's all for the gear.
See, in a way, that's doing what Steve does, but you've partitioned it so, right, clothing's here. It doesn't matter where it goes, which bag it's in, but you've partitioned it so everything's in your head. You know where things are. So if you come to a stop, let's say, for example, you stop and you're setting up camp and it's raining, the last thing you want to do, right, where the fuck did I put this? Where did I put that? You know where everything is. So that's actually a really good way of doing it. Whichever way you do it, guys, that's great.
I just put everything on.
Yeah, he's just wearing
just wear everything.
And then moans because he's wet, and then we have to tell him to put his clothes in the bottom of the bag.
He's wearing everything. He's got his full English breakfast cans all in his suit and everything.
It takes them ages to strip him down on the first.
Oh, do you have to strip him down?
No, I try not to get involved.
I wouldn't. Right, guys, what can I say? It's been brilliant tonight. The last 2 hours have absolutely flown by. There's loads of information which I've picked out there. There's loads of different hints and tips which I think everyone's given, and it's great to hear your experiences and everything. And again, we could do another chat on our different experiences with tours and all that sort of thing. But guys, what can I say? Thank you very much for coming on with us tonight. Jay, your channel, give us a shout out for your channel.
Crazy Legs on a Bike.
Fantastic. Make sure you subscribe, boys and girls. Dave, what's your channel?
Motovlog UK.
And Steve, unfortunately, is gone, so we can't. No, I'm joking.
He's done that like 3 times.
Did you really go for it? Go on, Steve, Kay. Actually, no, I want to hear it from Kay. What's your channel?
Carts Wheels.
Fantastic.
Please. On the wheels because I keep it going.
There you go. I like that. That's your tagline. Please, guys, if you are watching, have a look at all these channels. Please click on them. Subscribe. You've already got a YouTube channel because you're watching us at the moment. And every subscription, every like, every time you watch one of our videos, it does help our channels massively. And all the support and everything is fantastic. But, guys, thank you very much for coming on with us tonight. And hopefully we'll see you again on maybe another one.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Again.
Cheers. Thank
you.
you.
Fantastic.
Us.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. It's been brilliant, Dave. Even you, matey. It's been brilliant.
First and last time.
Yeah, no. Honestly, you're all welcome again next time. But right, say goodbye, guys.
Thanks
See you
all.
later.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, James. See you, everybody.
No problem. Bye
See you
bye.
later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And there we go, guys. Thank you very much for watching again on our Midlands Motorbiker live stream. If you have any further questions or anything else you want to know, please pop it in the comments, in the chat, and just let us know what you want to know. If there's anything we can help with, we will. And of course, please, I know I've said it a few times, but definitely check out our channels, look at the videos, like, subscribe, and comment. We are as interactive as we can be. But guys, from myself, from James, from Midlands Motorbikers, it's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy your evening and ride safe. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.